you're saying the Four Sigmatic ads were hitting you up.
Oh yeah, all week, dude. Ever since we mentioned it last week on the podcast.
And you had never even heard of it before that, right?
I feel like I might have heard it like in passing, but I'd never like, known what it was or anything. It was just one of the things that like Joe Rogan drinks or whatever every once in a while.
Because I listen to his ads, so because I listen to the audio version of the podcast, so it's like every other episode he mentions it.
Oh yeah, well I just listen to the YouTube one.
Yeah,
because I like the visuals sometimes. Because every once in a while he'll talk about something on the podcast where he's like, "Bring it up, Jamie," and then I'll like they don't do it so much anymore because
he's really stopped that. Yeah,
but every once in a while they still do stuff like that where they like bring up pictures or whatever.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's mentioned it once or twice, but I never get the ads like that. So
they hit him like for any tiny little bit, he'll lose the entire episode. Yeah. They're just like they'll claim the entire episode.
I know, and it sucks because I mean I used to listen to him back like a year or two ago. Where he used to actually do live streams, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's got this person on," and I like just drop whatever I'm doing at work, put that on in the podcast.
Same.
You know, I'd be listening to music or something, and be like, "Joe Rogan interviews, blah, like Kevin Smith or something." I'm like, "Done." Put that shit on live, and then it would be fun to listen to live, even if there was like a 10-second delay or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
We started listening to him like almost the exact same time.
Well, you told me about him.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure you told me that. Like, I had the same thing that everyone has with him was like, oh, Joe Rogan, you mean the Fear Factor guy? I feel like...
I don't know, because you told me he was part of Fear Factor.
Oh, okay.
I might have told you, like, if anything, I might have said, I learned this from listening to Joe Rogan talk to Jordan Peterson or something like that. Oh,
okay. Yeah, I feel like you're the one who got me into listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, because I never listened to podcasts before. Like, I was staunch against listening to podcasts for a long time. I was like, what a waste of time listening to random people talk. But then if someone's actually good at it, as he's been like pretty good considering that he's been doing it for so long, like he actually has interesting people on. So started listening to people and like more and more things. I think one of the first episodes I listened to was like around like 600 or 700, maybe a little bit like 5, 6, somewhere between the 500 and 700 area. And it was like one of the first ones I watched was with Anna Kasparian. It was like the last time she was on.
Oh yeah.
Before the Young Turks like took a nosedive.
Yeah.
Being like fucking up their own ass.
Big time.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go look up the other podcast with her because she's kind of cute or whatever. And you started listening to her now, and I'm like,
no. Gone kind of like in the rabbit hole, or down the rabbit hole, I should say.
And then, that was what led me to listen to more podcasts. And then from there, it's like, one more thing and then one more thing. And then, and now it's just a habit of like, I'm going to listen to almost all of
them. Also with Four Sigmatic, so I looked it up and it's basically like 1 packet per cup.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, when I was looking at the ad, I'm like, they're little like, it's almost like tea bags, but it's instant.
It's basic. Coffee. I mean, I still don't know if it's instant coffee. Like I watched some reviews for it. Some people used it like instant coffee. Other ones didn't.
Okay.
But whatever. That doesn't matter. The important part is it's about one bag per cup. So, it's about $20 for 10 cups of coffee.
Damn.
Which I guess.
I mean, I was gonna tell you this because I did the math a little bit. I'm like, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. I guess it's like $2 a cup.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than like going to Starbucks, I suppose, but
a little bit cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still more than I want to spend. Like even I think I love having the pods, the K cups.
Oh fuck, I hate Keurig, dude. That shit tastes like ass.
Well, you can like Keurig isn't the only company that makes.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like all of them probably taste the same, like garbage.
Yeah, whatever. I don't even like coffee. I put so much fucking cream in it that I don't even taste the coffee. That but like I like those K cups, and even those are a little bit more expensive than what I like. So they're about. I mean, depending on what you get, they're about $80 to $1 per.
That's pretty cheap, dude.
Yeah. Well, again,
like that's not gonna make me drink it, but that's pretty cheap.
But like you get like just fucking like the bag of coffee, right, or the tub of coffee for like $10 or whatever.
Yeah, for a pound or whatever.
Yeah, and that lasts you like shit long. Like that lasts you a long fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, and I would go into like Starbucks and get a pound of coffee, and it'd be like $15 to $20. But even then, like I'm making and able to brew like 2 to 3 cups of coffee
a day.
Each session, and I can do that like a few times. So if you add it up, it's like 3 cups of coffee. Even if that's like, 5 to 10 sessions, that's still a lot of cups of coffee.
That is.
So you're actually not spending that much. It's like $1 per cup.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I try to spend less than that, but yeah.
But I mean, that's like for actual Starbucks coffee. So
yeah,
it's like taking your thing of like the Sigmatic's a little bit cheaper than the Starbucks coffee. Then buying Starbucks and making it home is even cheaper.
Yeah.
So.
Welcome to the Overtly Disagreeable podcast where two assholes talk about nothing.
Clearly.
We are your hosts. My name is Ken, and this is Shane.
Hello, everyone.
Fuck. So, you're saying your week was shitty.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Well, I mean,
how was your week?
And shitty is a nice way of saying it too, because it was all about poop.
Yeah. Oh, you briefly mentioned shit when you're telling me.
So, like, I don't know how this all really started, but the beginning of my quote unquote problems started on Wednesday, where I woke up in the morning. Okay, so it started last week with the lip herpes thing, right?
The mouth herpes.
So I started looking up that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start trying to eat a little more healthy.
I don't know if eating healthy will reduce that.
Because one thing that's going to be the overarching theme of this whole entire like last couple weeks for me, and in general, because of my like reading into things and paranoid, is don't look up on Google your health symptoms.
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
Because that just leads you down to the I don't know what it is about Google, but you can type anything, and that shit will give you the worst
terminal cancer now.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's what I've been kind of dealing with the last couple days. So I don't know how this happened. Sunday I felt fine because I'm just gonna go from when we did the podcast. Sunday I felt fine or whatever. Monday I was like whatever. Tuesday I was like whatever.
Okay.
Right.
And then Wednesday hits.
Yeah, Monday I had the leftover butter chicken from our Saturday.
Right.
I had fajitas on Tuesday.
All right.
And then I was like, okay. I looked up online the herpes thing, and it's like, okay. Again, it tells me it's like it could be you having a compromised immune system from having HIV, which I definitely don't have.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty damn sure I don't have. And getting cancer treatment, which I know I'm not having because I'm not having any cancer treatment.
Yes.
But it's like compromising the immune system. So I'm like, what can I do to build up my immune system? And it's like, eat things with like vitamin C and shit like that, right?
I mean, I guess, but like foods have so much vitamin C in it nowadays that's typically not something that you're missing.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't go out of my way to do these things. You know what I mean? Like I'll eat just normal things.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not going out of my way to eat oranges. So Tuesday, I'm like, I'm gonna go get some oranges. Can't remember what else. Oh, oatmeal, because I'm trying to eat healthier in the morning. Because I normally just don't even eat breakfast.
I would say skipping breakfast is healthier, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm skinny as fuck, so I might need more nutrition in the first place. So I'm trying to eat healthier on Monday. Right before I leave for work, I go and poop, and my poop is like clay colored. It's like gray.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Yeah. So again, I look up on Google what that is, and what did it say? Oh, you're. It's like you. How do I put this?
What did Dr. Google tell you?
It's not even Dr. Google. It's just like a blurb or whatever for the thing. It's like clay poop is an indication that your intestinal tract is not producing enough bile.
Oh,
and
really?
It's like an acute problem, and you need to go to a doctor.
Fuck.
So I didn't go to a doctor.
Opposite problem of me, but okay.
I didn't go to a doctor because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how this goes. But all throughout Wednesday, during the day, I just have had the feeling of like needing to go poop.
Okay.
But like no poop really came out. I had like 2 small poops.
Yeah, I mean I've had that. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Right? And then I went to dinner with my mom that night at her place, and I wasn't feeling very hungry because of all the pooping thing. Like I went to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times that day, not including the morning where I had the gray poop. And I'm losing my train of thought.
You went to your mom's house.
Yeah, and then I pooped like throughout the day at work.
Yeah.
But like 2 of the times I pooped, nothing came out. Yeah. It was just like a long fart. Like
okay.
Or like a little bit of like water discharge would come out.
Okay.
So I was like, that's fucked up, and it's freaking me the fuck out because it was along with the Google thing and my like thing we've talked about before, where I have like paranoid anxiety.
Is this bad? Because like I've had that happen to me so many fucking times.
Well, thank you, because you're making me feel better already.
Like right? So many times.
So then Thursday, I'm still dealing with it. No more gray poop, but not really any poops coming out. Thursday again, I take another poop where it's like I only poop once throughout the entire day. Okay. But it's small poops again.
Yeah. Sounds like you're, I don't know, constipated or something.
Bam, got it. But I'm getting to that. And then throughout the day, again, I go to the bathroom like 3 or 4 other times, and no poop comes out. It's just long farts of like me basically decompressing.
Okay, all right.
So then Thursday night, I'm talking to my friend, and they're like saying the same thing. It's like, you're probably constipated. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to war.
All right.
No, I didn't think that right away. At first, she's like, you should get me to Metamucil. So I looked up Metamucil.
Yeah, Metamucil is dope.
And then I looked up Metamucil, and it's like, it's got so many things that are like, don't take this of this. Don't take this of this. Don't breathe in the dust when you first open it. And I'm like, okay, the last thing I need when I'm having health issues is to have something else that might give me more health issues. So is there a better way of doing this? So I'm on the way home. I'm on the bus. The constipation thing is really sticking with me of like, okay, maybe that's it, right? Maybe that's it. So I'm going to go to war.
Okay.
So I look up online, like, what are things, natural laxatives that could make it so that I could poop?
Grapes? I don't know.
Well, figs, dates.
I didn't know figs were
they're like
laxatives. Oh.
That's why like date squares and fig Newtons and stuff like that.
Well, like.
Or digestives.
My dad grows figs, and I'd never pieced that together that I usually do take like. I do go to the bathroom more frequently after he grows the figs, and I just eat a shit ton of them.
That's probably what it is. But the other thing, there's actually a boatload of things. Pineapple, which I'm not going to touch.
Yeah.
Broccoli, carrots, beans, almonds.
That makes sense. Almonds, really?
And yogurt. Those are the main things I settled on. But I could have kept going throughout the Google whatever article or whatever that was highlighting different things. So I got yogurt, I got almonds, I got broccoli, I got carrots, and I got a can of beans with like tomato sauce.
Right.
My dinner was basically steamed broccoli, steamed carrot, beans, and then in the morning I had and I got more oranges. That was another thing too.
Right.
And then in the morning I had yogurt, oranges, and almonds. And I brought the almonds to work on Friday.
Okay.
And then I pooped on Friday a little bit. And it wasn't like bad colored.
Okay.
It was like yellow. So I'm like, okay, it's constipation.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm doing a little bit better. Last night, it was Friday night. So last night I had like a normal dinner because Thursday I tried to have like a going to war with my stomach dinner.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
which seems to have some kind of effect.
It did have some effect, yes. It's like flushing me out a little bit. But my stomach's and like abdomen area is making all these like gurgling sounds.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Again, in my head, I want that to be true, but my brain's not allowing me to think that way, right?
All right.
Something else is going wrong. So I continue. Last night, had a decent dinner, had like a tuna melt. And again, I'm still going to war with my stomach. I had salad and steamed carrots.
Yeah.
So I'm like, again, I'm still trying to keep with it. Yeah. This morning, pooped a nice, good brown poop.
That's good.
Not a lot of poop, but I haven't really pooped throughout the rest of today.
Well, I mean, constipation doesn't even mean you have that much shit in your body. Like, it just means you have a hard time getting what you have out. So
exactly.
Even if like you don't have a lot coming out, then that's still like fine.
I know, but the going to the bathroom and like basically just being decompressing of air and a little bit of liquid coming out, which I'm sorry for anyone who's listening to this. Maybe you should just skip the first 10 minutes of the podcast. You can maybe cut this in as a disclaimer before we start or something.
No, I'm probably not going to do that.
Whatever.
They could solve it.
It makes me a bit paranoid, and I've been feeling kind of like tired and very lethargic. Well, not super lethargic, but I've just been more tired.
Yeah, okay.
And I haven't been sleeping as great either. Like I'll go to bed at like 10 or 11 at night, and then I'll wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I'll stay up for another hour or two, and then I'll sleep. And then I'll wake up again at like 8 or 9.
Okay.
So it's kind of been shitty that way too. But I've been kind of like I told you, I haven't been playing much video games. Most video games I played all week has been today. And that's been like 3 or 4 games of Apex and 1 game of Smite.
That's fucking
just to say that I did and doing stuff. But mostly I've just been watching stuff, which I can talk about as more fun and less like I'm dying over here.
No. You dying is very entertaining.
Yeah, well, not for me because I'm super paranoid. And the last thing I want to do is go to the hospital and be told that I have like bowel cancer or some shit. But the fact that everyone's like, it's constipation, and then I read online as well, the constipation is like it could last for a week, and it's like you only poop 1 to 3 times a week. And I'm like, okay, we're getting someone.
Are you used to doing it once a day?
No, actually, that's been like a recent thing. Like when I first was like 2021 or whatever, I had a coworker, Ivan, who was talking about how he used to go poop like every single day. I don't know what it was with my body. I guess because I was still quote unquote young back then. I was pooping like once every 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah, okay, that's how I felt like it was with me for the longest
time.
Okay,
so yeah, it might have just been when we were young. And
so
he's
it might
like,
just be a thing
he was
then,
a little bit older than I was, like by 5 to 10 years. So it makes sense that he would be where I am now.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like pooping once a day. Like either one huge poop or one like mediocre poop. But but it's not something that stands out in my head of like I need to shit all the time. Now, like this last like 4 days, I've been like I need to go to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times and nothing's coming out. The gray poop really fucked with my head.
Yeah, like, I've never seen before. That's kind of weird.
But the fact that it's not reoccurring, like every time that I pooped after that, even if it was just a little bit, it was like it was yellow.
Okay.
Not bright yellow, but just like that kind of diarrhea-y yellow.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So it's kind of like it's reassuring that it's not because if it was white again or gray again for the next 3 days, I'd be like, I'm in the hospital and we would be doing this podcast right now.
And you were drinking a lot of water during this time
I've been drinking only water this entire week.
What about last week?
I can't remember, but I've been like in the last few months, or at least let's say the last month, I've been trying to take a point of just drinking mostly water and drinking less pop. Like someone will come over and they'll want to drink pop, and I'll be like, "You can have pop."
Yes,
I'm gonna have
exactly
water.
what happened.
Yeah,
I stayed away from pop for pretty much the entire week except for today.
Well, that's what you were trying to do for the longest time, but to keep coming over here and you keep drinking pop.
Yeah, I keep rekindling my love for it.
Exactly. So I'm sorry about that for you.
Whatever. It's my fault. It's my rack of discipline.
Yeah, rack of discipline.
My rack of discipline.
So yeah, anyways, that's been my issues.
So it sounds like you're on the upswing right now.
A little bit. I'm still like kind of tired. Like even earlier when I came back from going to the washroom, I'm like, is it hot in here? Or is it just me? And I'm feeling like clammy. You guys aren't telling me that I'm hot or anything, so that's again reassuring. But
you're colder than me.
Yeah, which is weird. Well, you felt warmer to me than I felt warm to you.
Oh, okay. So it's your internal temperature.
Yeah, exactly.
Or my internal. One of the two.
It might just be my paranoia making me hot.
Well, I mean, yeah, or it could be that you do have maybe a little bit of a cold and your internal temperature is a little bit higher.
I've been eating oranges every day. I bought a whole bunch.
I honestly don't think vitamin C is vitamin C is in almost like every vegetable and every fucking fruit.
But a lot of it?
And I would say most people, even with a shit diet, get an overabundance of vitamin C.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not an expert in this. Maybe I'm full of shit, but like, vitamin C, I feel like, is in so much stuff. I
feel like it's just in trace amounts of things. Like, yeah, you might be right that it's in all things, but it's hard to say that it's like enough that you're getting your daily intake. You know,
maybe I'm wrong.
Your doctor recommended, because when I was reading the fiber thing, it's like. Oh, sorry. When I was reading the constipation thing about the foods that could be fibrous, like even the foods that are highly fibrous are only like you eat a cup of it and it's like 20% of your daily intake of what's supposed to be fiber.
You're right,
and I'm like, how do you only eat a cup of this one thing and only get a certain amount? And again, these are all numbers that I'm kind of pulling out of my ass from memory. But if that's like a cup of that particular food and you're only getting a fifth of your daily intake of fiber, how much fiber am I getting in a week that I'm supposed to be getting from the trace amounts?
It might just be significantly less than.
Exactly. Yeah. And like with the herpes thing, I'm trying to boost my immune system. So eating oranges is a way of me combating that.
And you've also never used Metamucil before?
I might have in the past, but yeah, I haven't been constipated since I was a kid.
Jesus Christ.
Since I was living with my mom back like maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, man.
And I had to use like a suppository. And that time was like the poops like... It wasn't like how it is now where like no poop's coming out. It was like there's poop at the edge of my butthole. It just won't come out.
Oh, I see.
That's a constipation I've dealt with where you have to shove the suppository up your ass.
Yeah.
That's what I've had before in the past with constipation. But up until now, I haven't had constipation like to a point where it concerned me.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I was constipated, but it passed within a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
But like now is like I feel uncomfortable and it's persisting for multiple days. So I'm considering it's an issue.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough then.
So that's been a huge distraction for me, which on the plus side, on the positive side, has led me to be watching more things and not playing video games.
Yeah, because you said you wanted to increase what you've been or watch more shit.
Yeah, which I'll talk about that later. The other thing that happened this week that was also on Wednesday that could be contributing to my anxiety and all my constipation shit is that on Tuesday night, I have a bad habit of not checking my mail. I have like a little mailbox at the bottom of my thing.
The same way, but all right.
So I pulled up my mail on Tuesday night and I'm like, I'm going to check my mail.
Like a fully functioning adult.
Do you remember how I told you a couple weeks ago how I got a piece of mail underneath my door from my landlord that was like a inspection thing, but it was listed for when I moved in and not for him doing an inspection recently.
I don't remember that, but okay. Anyways,
so that happened, and it weirded me out. So I called him, and he said, "Oh, they just want to update the paperwork." The reason why they wanted to update the paperwork is because the property management has now shifted to a new property management company.
I see. Okay.
And Tuesday, I open up my mail, and it's like a thing from the new property management company saying, "This is what you need to do. Everything that you had before for whatever your setup was for paying your rent is no longer valid. You have to set up a new thing with us." And I don't have checks, so they're like, you can pay by check or direct deposit.
Yeah.
So they can pull it out of my bank account.
That's fucking bullshit.
Right? Well, I was paying cash before.
Yeah.
Like I was paying cash directly to my landlord, not by check.
Yeah,
or
you were
anything
just
like
giving
that.
cash. Yeah.
Which is understandable that this company doesn't want to do it. What's better about it is that on Tuesday, the 19th, when I'm reading this, it says by check or by direct deposit from the, like, what is it, debit direct deposit? I don't know what the term is.
I hate direct deposit because then they take it out of your account on the day.
Yeah.
I'd prefer if they gave me like an account number and I could pay it at my leisure.
That's basically the same situation I am. But what's better is on the 19th, when I'm reading this, it says that the day that I need to, because I don't have checks, so that's not an option. The day I have to set up that thing for December 1st is the 20th.
Oh, shit.
So I wake up early and I poop gray. So I'm paranoid about that. I go down to the bank. I open up another bank account on my, I open up
not
another,
an account.
What is it called?
You just set up
savings account.
Oh, so you do open up a savings account.
It's like another. I have a savings account, which is my spending account.
Okay.
I have a tax-free savings account, which is my building up money for stuff account.
Okay.
And then I have another savings account that is a one transaction a month.
Okay.
For me, where they can pull money out of it. Okay.
All right. So you can just put. I see. That's actually a good way to getting around the system.
Yeah.
So you can just put money in that account
and then forget about it.
Yeah.
Right. But it's due on the 20th.
Yeah.
So I do that. I go down to the bank. Then I go down to the property management thing, which thank God they're in downtown and not in Surrey or fucking some shit.
Yeah.
And I hand the thing in myself.
Okay.
I'm hoping that worked out.
Oh, whatever.
I'm hoping it did. I figure it did because I haven't got a call from anybody saying, "Hey, your shit was late." It said by the 20th.
Yeah.
It was the 20th.
And now we're on the 23rd.
Yeah. But like I handed it in on the 20th.
Yeah.
Directly to them, not in the mail.
Like in cash, you mean?
No. Like the form and the filled out form of the new, like, what my quote unquote lease.
Yeah.
And all that stuff to them. So they can't say, and it's dated for the 20th. So they can't say that they didn't receive it. I handed it into their fucking secretary. Okay. So everything should be good with that. But it's that with the poop, with everything else. The fact that I'm doing it in the morning.
So now you're back to gray poops.
Well, I'm not
back to
What
was it like today?
I pooped a brown poop, but it was like not a full size poop, which I assume is like what you said, where it's like you're not pooping a lot.
Yeah.
You're just pooping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did actually describe this earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's brown.
Yeah, it's brown,
so
which is good. It's a good
sign.
sign.
Went from gray to yellow to brown.
Okay.
Which I am feeling a lot better, but I still feel kind of lethargic. I still have that grumbly stomach feeling. I'm getting randomly hot and paranoid. Okay. So it's not been great.
Well, if anybody is listening to this podcast, be sure to check the obituaries the next couple of days.
Please no.
Shane's name might be in there.
No, it probably won't be for a couple of weeks if I'm going to be fucking on my deathbed.
It might, but it'll, at some point it might be there.
Oh, maybe, yeah. But by the time you listen to this podcast in 3 years, you can look it up. I hope not. Fuck no. So yeah, on the more positive side, I've been watching lots of stuff.
Yes. So what have you seen?
Last night I watched the Japanese Ring.
Oh, really? How was it? Ringu.
Yeah. It's surprisingly enough, if anybody wants to watch it, some guy just uploaded it to YouTube, and apparently with English subtitles too, like closed captioning.
And nobody's taken it down?
Nobody's taken it down. It's been up there for a year.
Oh, shit.
Like under 400,000 people have seen it. So thank you to, I believe it was Der Joker.
Okay.
That uploaded that. Thank you very much, sir. Or ma'am.
So have you seen the original one?
I have.
Because I have not.
I've seen it. I saw it a long time ago, like basically when it came out on video.
Okay.
Like from the movie theater to video. So like 6 months to a year after it came out. Was Naomi Watts.
So, and how's the Ringu in comparison?
They definitely play up much more in the Japanese one, the supernatural aspect. Like in the American one, from what I remembered, Samara kind of is alluded to have like psychic powers or be something, but they kind of just go with the it's an evil child kind of scenario.
Okay.
Right? Or she might have been abused. Like these are kind of all the themes that I seem to be remembering because I haven't seen it since it came out.
Okay.
Right? But this one is very much like, and I don't know if do you want me to just spoil some parts?
Spoil it, yeah.
Her name isn't Samara. Her name is Sadako.
Okay.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Japanese, so they go for the more Japanese theme. Her mom is a medium, so she can like read people's minds.
Oh shit!
And
okay.
Can predict events. Like she predicts a volcano erupting.
Okay.
And they allude to that her father, Sadako's father, is actually a water spirit.
Oh shit!
Like a demon water spirit.
Yeah.
That like hooked up with her mom, who's a medium.
Yeah.
Was able to communicate with the psychic.
Oh my God.
The water spirit. Right? And then Sadako is
she's basically Jesus.
Kind of. She's water spirit Jesus.
Yeah,
almost.
okay.
Yeah. But then Sadako's mom was involved with this man who worked at a university who had his own family.
Okay.
And then when he found out that she was basically like a monster demon.
Yeah.
Because what they did was they brought her mom to this seminar or whatever where she was basically reading people's minds and writing down what they had wrote down.
Okay.
And then like producing like written copies of like on the spot like
okay.
Look, she can read your mind. And then someone was like, that's fucking bullshit. That's a fucking garbage. She's fucking tricking us. And then Sadako comes out from the wings and like this dude just keels over and dies.
Oh my God.
So then
that's suspicious.
Well, then people are weirded out. So then the lover of Sadako's mom, who's involved, who has his own family, and she like kills Sadako.
Oh my God.
And like drops her down to a well, and then builds a like not a resort, but like a small like getaway, like a camp.
Yeah.
Over top of it.
Of course, that's.
And then the video starts
logical thing to do.
Yeah, and then the video starts circulating around, and it's pretty much the exact same story where Naomi Watts' character in the American one is a reporter who's covering the story. In this one, it's a female reporter for a newspaper who's covering some deaths of teens.
And if I remember correctly, you play the VHS and you have 7 days or something like that? Okay.
And then she calls you, she says, in this one, she says 1 week, not 7 days, which I guess is just a difference in whatever it was. But I think 7 days is actually a creepier sounding thing than 1 week.
Yeah, because like, what the fuck is 1 week mean?
Yeah.
Like, does that mean the beginning of next week or like?
Yeah. Well, no, it's 1 week exactly. Okay. So then, almost nobody from that movie is recognizable. But have you ever seen The Last Samurai?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm trying to think of what other movies. Okay, have you seen? You saw Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know when Ronin. When Hawkeye turns into Ronin and he kills that Japanese dude.
That's fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese dude that he fights. He's a famous Japanese actor. He's in this movie. He's the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend of the Japanese woman who's the news reporter.
Oh shit! Okay.
He's Naomi Watts' like boyfriend would be in the American one, except that they're not
dating at the moment.
I think so. They're like separated.
Yeah.
And he's like a researcher, not a researcher, like he works at a university.
I didn't know that they. I mean, I guess the English or North American one didn't go into the backstory, but like even the Japanese one, I didn't know that they were going to go into the backstory of the girl. I thought it was just purely like the person dealing with. No.
They go into it because she's a news reporter, so she's going in depth, right?
Yeah.
I believe in the American one, they do go in depth with it, but I believe Samara was like adopted by somebody and they like locked her up in a barn.
Oh, so just abuse and then
she was kind of like emotionally abused, maybe not physically abused or anything like that. Okay. And then they put her in the well because she was quote unquote evil. Again, they were trying to downplay the supernatural aspect in the American version because Americans, not necessarily don't like, but it's scarier for things to be more real than to be spooky psychics.
Yeah, like ghosts and psychics.
Whereas
and stuff
Japanese people will play up the water spirits and other things. Maybe for the American one was like it's a demon, that might have played over because like Jesus complex shit in America probably would work better than water spirit.
Yeah, if they just said demon, then maybe.
Yeah, but then it would just be a generic like Exorcist movie. At that point,
I suppose
for most people, I feel like that's the thought pattern they were going through. They're like, we want to make this for American audiences. We can't do evil water spirit child.
Yeah.
So how do we do this? we can't do psychic powers too because you have to explain some shit.
Yeah.
Right? And if you can't explain it by water spirit, then how can you really explain it?
She just went crazy from being abused so much.
Exactly. So that I think they were just trying to make it more like quote unquote real. And the supernatural aspect was the fact that she was living on beyond the grave, and the fact that there was a tape, and the fact that she calls you, and the fact that you die a week later. That was the like supernatural. We don't want to explain the mystique of that. But in this movie, they don't explain the tape. They don't explain how she's able to do it. It's just more of the fact that she has psychic powers, that she's able to persist beyond the grave.
Okay, yeah.
So that was interesting. It was neat.
I still want to watch the movie where it's like her versus the Grudge kids or something.
Oh, come on. That's like the Freddy versus Jason. That's just like...
I like Freddy versus Jason.
I know, but you like garbage, so, I mean, that's...
Okay, fuck you. Although I admit Freddy versus Jason is garbage, but it's, I don't know, it's entertaining.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're watching two different types of movies, though. You're watching...
Those are not horror movies.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Those are not...
So you might be take a liking to the Grudge versus the Ring, but I don't think it's the same effect of what the movies were...
No, it's not like the Grudge or the Ring.
Yeah.
But like I just like the idea of these supernatural creatures which normally don't have to struggle or anything in getting their kill.
Yeah.
But now struggling to do what they're doing.
It's a very small plot point to be interested in for the whole thing. Whereas I think I just look at that movie as like a cash grab.
I mean, that 100% is.
But whatever, to each their own. But if you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. It's only an hour and a half long.
Okay.
They didn't even stretch it out to like 2 hours for the Japanese one, and it's pretty well done. It's pretty concise. Gets straight to the point. No really terrible acting.
Bullshit. Okay.
And you haven't seen the original Ring, right?
No, I haven't.
She kind of deduces, well, not the original, the American Ring. She kind of deduces in it that the only way to escape it is to make copies of the video. In the Japanese one, she accidentally makes a copy of the video and then doesn't die.
Oh, interesting.
And then she basically realizes that the only way to stop the curse from killing somebody is to basically pass the curse on to someone else.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of like the end of the movie is really ominous. She basically takes the ex-boyfriend who dies, his VCR and the tape, realizes, oh shit, I made a copy. That's why he died and I didn't die. And it's basically like the end of the movie is her driving off and being like, the only way is to keep it going.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of like that.
That's what I'm saying. I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like ominous because it's like they don't defeat it. They just like survive it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that aspect of the Japanese one.
Yeah. Well,
and it's all done with practical effects too.
In the North American one, does she end up passing on the curse to somebody else?
I can't remember honestly, but I think so. But I also seem to remember something about the American one where like the copying doesn't actually do anything.
Oh, okay.
It's like it makes her think it does something, but it doesn't really do something. But I could be confusing it with the fact that she realizes that the copying like passes it on, and then the boyfriend or her co-worker or whoever the dude is in that movie, I can't remember if it's the boyfriend or ex-husband or whatever, he dies from it. So I can't remember. It's been a long time. It's been like, I'll look it up right now, but I'm pretty sure it's been like over 13 years since that movie came out.
I want to say it came out like 2001, but I feel
like 2003. That was my guess.
Okay.
But then I might be thinking of Saw.
Yeah, okay. Which was good. I really liked the fucking first Saw movie. That was fucking amazing.
I liked up to 4.
But really? I saw all of them. I think there's 7 altogether. And I think I saw all of them except the last one, but I only liked the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the first one is 2002.
Between neither of us got it.
I was close.
We were both close.
But I like the first Saw. I like the second Saw because it expands upon it and still keeps the same feeling. And then it still has that like twisty ending.
I guess.
The reason why I say 4 is because the third one was still pretty good. And the fourth one was a little bit more hacky. But the third one and the fourth one are basically 2 movies that are happening at the same time.
Are they? Like, I honestly can't remember. Like the storylines of the Saw movies are all jumbled up in my head, except for the first one.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. The first one is very good because it was like the first concept of it, and it was like doing it like, you know, feet on the ground without any like hype or anything.
Yeah.
Whereas by the time you get to 5, 6, 7, and 8, it's like they're just throwing money at the problem instead of actually making like a decent movie. But the third and fourth movie, basically, it's one dude in the third movie, and then the fourth movie, it's another dude.
Yes, and if I remember correctly, in the fourth one, it's not even a dude, it's a chick, if I remember correctly, isn't it? fourth movie? It's his apprentice or something, isn't it?
Oh no, the second movie is Amanda. You find out that
she's set up the whole thing.
She's in on it, yeah. And then the third one and fourth one are basically, he has two apprentices. One's the cop, who ends up being the one who takes over for the rest of the movies.
I don't remember that, but okay.
And then the third one got Amanda in it as well.
Okay.
But it's got the one where it's a fat dude, and then Jigsaw is on his deathbed, and he has a nurse with the like bear trap with the shotguns, and Amanda keeps like threatening her and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's like that separation.
Okay.
But technically, the movies are almost happening simultaneously.
Right.
Because by the end of the movie, the two like movies like end together.
Okay.
But you don't know that until the end of the fourth movie.
Right. Okay. Fuck. This is all. It's still.
That's the whole point of Saw, is that it gets like convoluted and complicated and all mixed together bullshit.
Yeah.
The first two are very like clean cut, like their own movies. And then the third, fourth movie is when they try getting like fancy with it.
Okay.
And I like that block of movies. Those four are my like favorites of it.
Is it 7 altogether? I want to say it's 7.
I think it's like, I think they even did a remake recently.
Oh, that's true. I remember hearing. Fuck, I can't even remember.
I think it came out last year.
I hope they didn't do a remake, because it's not even that old. Like, it's not old enough to be deserving of a remake.
Yeah, but when it fucking when it does so well and then they don't do anything with it for a while, it's like then they end up. Yeah, it's called Jigsaw, and it came out in 2017. So 2 years.
So was it a remake of the first movie, or like?
I don't know, because I never saw it.
Okay.
I dropped off after like 5 or 6. I didn't watch 3D, which was in 2012.
3D would probably be just the third one.
Yeah.
You probably just had 3 and the 3D version of the movie.
Let's see.
So which you probably saw that movie.
Okay, no, it's not a retelling. It's just it picks up where the movies left off 10 years later.
Oh, so like possibly a copycat killer or his ex-wife or something.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So that was that, and then the other things that I've been watching are like speed runs.
Oh yeah.
So I watched all of the Insane trilogy, the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
I think you mentioned that last week.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay, well I watched them again, or like I actually finished them. The Crash 2 one is actually the most entertaining one, because there's so much backtracking in that one, because they start like layering like the gems into levels and like full completion stuff.
Yeah.
But then they also have like slide dashing and high jumps and stuff like that, whereas the first game is just jump, run, spin. Yeah. It's not really too complicated.
I think you mentioned this last week too.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
you were mentioning that they did something where they.
Oh, okay. So I did. So then this week, I guess I watched the third one.
Okay.
I watched Crash 3 and I watched Crash 1.
Okay.
Those were entertaining. Nice little nostalgia trip for me.
Mm-hmm.
The first one it's neat, but it doesn't have all the complexities of the second one, where I'm telling you like they're jumping over shit that they're not supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And the third one I never really had a huge fandom for, because it was good because it was like the finishing of the trilogy.
It was a solid game.
It was a solid game, but for me the first two always stand out as like the ones that kick the most ass.
Okay, all right.
For me personally, even though I played the third one. Mm-hmm. Third one just got convoluted with too many vehicles, flying, bike, water, and shit like that. And then they started doing like the time trial stuff, which kind of, for me, deviated from the idea of Crash being an adventure game. It became more of like a, kind of like now where it's like trophy hunting and stuff like that.
Okay,
but
all right.
Back in the PS1.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a bit of a turnoff, because I wasn't really that big onto like full completion when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to play the game.
Okay.
So like even in Crash 2, I don't think I got all the gems, stuff like that. But I had the book, so then I would go through the game again.
Yeah.
And systematically go through it.
And try to 100% it.
Yeah. And then I tried watching a speed run of MGS3.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then I kept falling asleep because I would put it on late at night. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck this, because I watched like 2 or 3 times and didn't get through it. Basically, I was like, fuck this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the thing I told you about on the podcast a while ago. I'm gonna go watch the MGS movie.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start at the beginning, even though I probably should start chronologically of the games. Mm-hmm. I went and watched a movie someone made of Snake Eater.
Well, I mean, yeah, that kind of works, because Snake Eater happens before the other games.
Yes, it's technically like the first one in the Metal Gear franchise.
Which was a turn off to me, but...
What do you mean? How so? Because I'm not a huge Metal Gear person, so I'm not
this is just my personality, just the way I like looking at things. Like I don't really like prequels. Like I don't really care about what happened before. I want to see the story advancing. I want to see new things.
I suppose.
Yeah.
It gives a little bit of context, but I understand what you mean. But there was so much hype from all the previous games of like Solid Snake being a clone.
Yes.
And him killing Big Boss twice in the first 2 Metal Gear games, and no one understood why he did.
He doesn't really. I don't remember killing Big Boss in the second game.
No, not in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, Metal Gear. Yeah, right.
The first 2 Metal Gear games are Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake's Revenge.
Yeah.
Or Solid Snake or something like that. And in those games, he kills Big Boss twice.
Yes.
And nobody, until Phantom Pain came out, could ever make sense of why he was able to kill Big Boss twice.
Yes.
Because there's no explanation for it.
And so they explained that in Snake Eater?
No, they explained it in Phantom Pain.
Oh, right. Okay.
In Snake Eater, it's about Big Boss becoming Big Boss.
Yeah, because you're not playing as Solid Snake, you're playing as
Naked
Boss.
Snake.
Naked Snake, yeah.
And then he becomes Big Boss, but he basically is like he's like Solid Snake in the first Metal Gear Solid game, where he's just like an operative.
Yes.
He's not the motherfucker.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, he's the motherfucker.
He's the motherfucker.
Yeah. And man, as that game, like I watched it and it was getting to like the climax where you think that you fought the final boss and he fights the not Metal Gear, and then I'm just curious, so I like look to see how much of the video is left, and it's like there's like 50 minutes left of the video. I'm like, holy shit! He fights the fucking the quote unquote final boss, the Colonel Volgan or whatever. He destroys the not Metal Gear. It's called the Shegohad. Okay. Because again, it's a prequel. It takes place in the 60s, so the Metal Gears don't exist yet.
Yeah.
They're just a concept, and this is like the first iteration of it.
Yeah, they're not as
technical, yeah. Well, in this game, in Metal Gear Solid 3, it's basically a huge tank with an IBM on it, and then it basically drives super, super fast, like 300 miles an hour or something like that, in a straight line, and basically does the first launch sequence speed of the IBM and then launches it.
Oh my god.
And then can basically launch it from Russia to anywhere in America.
Shit, really?
So that's how they finagle like the Metal Gear being so powerful later on in the games, and then this one is like a prototype basically.
And you fight this thing.
Yeah, you fight this thing. So he destroys that. There's 15 minutes left in the video. I'm like, okay, what else is there?
Okay.
He fights his boss.
Okay.
So before he becomes Big Boss, he's called Naked Snake, and then he actually has a woman that trained him. That's called the Boss.
Okay. All right. So he fights her.
Okay. And defeats her. But he's kind of supposed to kills her. Then they're supposed to leave the area, and then again that's like a whole sequence because it's supposed to be a big thing because he has an emotional connection with her because he used to be his like boss, like back before she defected to the Russians, and then he had to hunt her down, and then he had to go and kill her and stuff like that. So then that happens, and that's a whole big emotional sequence, and he gets on the plane and you're like, game's almost over, right? No. Ocelot shows up.
Yes.
He's in throughout the whole thing, but like he keeps popping up, and then he pops up. It's so silly. It's like the 60s. They have very little like crazy technology, but for some reason they have flying mine carts.
Okay, all right.
So he shows up as they're like taking off from a lake trying to escape Russia. It's like it's Naked Snake and this woman that's been like a traitor that works for the KGB. Quote unquote works for the KGB.
Oh, okay, but
is not working for this Russian group who's trying to usurp the
so she's like a secret agent.
Exactly, but she's helping Snake.
Right.
They're trying to escape. Ocelot shows up.
Of course.
Then they fight a little bit on the plane as the plane's like doing the movie thing where it's just flying along the lake trying to take off, but this sequence takes like 5-10 minutes and they just never take up from the lake. But whatever. Whatever. I'll take the tension. And then they do like a western like 10 paces and then turn, and then they take 2 revolvers. So
they actually have like a formal duel.
Yeah, so they fight a little bit, and then they're like, you know what? Let's finish this like the cool way. So they take 2 revolvers. They put 1 bullet in one of the revolvers. Put the revolvers on the ground. After Ocelot does his little like gun trick shit.
I love that shit. Yeah.
Which do you know that's an actual dude that they mocapped?
Oh really? I did not know that. I've seen people like doing the gun trick.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they were actually mocapping it.
Hideo Kojima actually got this guy who's like a gun trick specialist, and he mocaps it. And he's like, you can go and look up videos of it, and even now, where he's like a little bit older, he still does it and stuff like that. But he's the body double for Ocelot.
Jesus Christ, that's dope.
So Ocelot does his little gun trick thing, and they put the guns on the ground. They each pick up a gun. They walk 10 paces. They're still in the ship. The ship's still trying to take off from the lake.
Yeah.
They turn and they shoot each other. Click, 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 click. And then Snake doesn't shoot him. And then Ocelot's like, all right. And then he jumps off the ship. Snake's like,
so Ocelot had the last bullet.
No. Snake had the last bullet because Ocelot pulled all of his trigger.
Oh, I thought you said Snake doesn't shoot him.
He does.
He does 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, but doesn't pull the last trigger.
The last one. Okay.
Right. And then Ocelot's like, all right, I'll see you later, bud. And he doesn't, it's not like he like runs away like a bitch. He just jumps out because Snake lets him go.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then the finally, you think the thing's almost done. And then it's like the Hideo Kojima roundup, like final cutscene type stuff. And it's like another 10 minutes. But it's right before the very end of that final cutscene. 2 planes come and they're about to shoot Solid Snake down. I was like, how many fucking climaxes does the end of this game have? You fight Vulcan. You fight Vulcan in the Metal Gear. You fucking fight Boss. You fight Ocelot. You get away.
Keeps going.
Planes come and then the planes get pulled off. It's like, goddamn, the tension does not stop. It kind of takes away from the impact of Boss, the fight with Boss. I feel like that could have been done at the very, very end. But I understand how it was done in sequence.
Okay.
But it's just like, holy shit, man. 50
going.
minutes of climax, basically.
So how does this last fight end up?
Nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
It's just cutscenes. There's no real fighting or anything. The planes get pulled off because they're Russian planes, like the Russian government planes. And the last minute before they shoot down the plane that Naked Snake's on, the Russian government's like, cancel.
Oh, okay.
Because mission accomplished, basically. Yeah. And then you find out that the woman that was helping Snake was actually... She's a double agent working for the Chinese government.
Oh, of course. Okay.
She's like half Chinese, half American.
Yeah.
And so apparently her whole story is that she defected from the CIA to Russia.
Yes.
But apparently she's actually a Chinese operative working to get this thing for the Chinese government.
Okay. All right.
And then she betrays Snake.
Okay.
And then Snake becomes Big Boss by the end of it.
All right. So that's how that happens.
Yeah. And that took me a couple days to watch because it's like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, fuck, I can't do that.
I just broke it up into pieces, but it was entertaining. Right. There wasn't the guy who did the video, which I'm assuming he does all of these because I didn't check to see because I started watching them in order. So I just started watching Portable Ops.
Okay, I don't even know.
It's another Metal Gear game that takes place like 2 years after Snake Eater.
Okay, all right.
That's still following Big Boss.
When did that one come out?
I don't know. I'll take a look.
Is it like after? Did it come out after Snake Eater?
I believe so.
Okay.
Because it follows Metal Gear, Snake Eater's whatever timeline. Oh, this is the actual timeline. Yeah, so I looked up the actual like timeline of the games.
Okay.
This isn't the timeline of when the games came out though.
Can you tell me the timeline of the games?
Sure. Okay, so in order of when things supposed to happen.
Yeah, in order of events.
1964.
Okay.
Snake Eater.
Okay.
Okay, so actually 6 years. Sorry, 6 years later. Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops.
Right, okay.
4 years later after that, 1974, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, also a mobile game.
Yes, I remember Peace Walker.
1975, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, which is the
really?
prequel. It's the prequel one to Phantom Pain, but it takes place like almost right at the same time.
I didn't actually know that those games were prequels. I thought they took place after 5.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just that for some reason, because, they have crazy technology stuff, that they have like the prosthetic arm and technology cool stuff.
Whatever.
Apparently I'm wrong. 1975 is Ground Zeroes. 1984 is Phantom Pain.
Oh, so and Ground Zeroes takes place before Phantom Pain then?
Yeah.
It's even more confusing. Okay, anyways.
Well, I know the reason behind that. Do you want me to tell you that?
Go ahead.
So in Phantom Pain, you play as, well, quote unquote, Big Boss. What you find out is in Ground Zeroes, a plane crashes or a helicopter crashes with Big Boss in it with a bunch of other soldiers. Okay. And what happens is in Phantom Pain, at the beginning of it, you don't know this, but you have reconstructive surgery. You think that you're Big Boss, but what it is you're just a soldier that survives the helicopter crash. Oh. And they make you look like Big Boss. And that was Big Boss's plan to create a body double. And that's why in Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid Snake's Revenge,
you kill them twice.
You kill them twice because there's two big bosses.
I see.
That's how Phantom Pain has the second big boss.
Right, so they introduced the second big boss.
You're not a clone.
Yeah.
You're a body double.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're kind of psychologically treated, which is why I'm assuming that Ground Zeroes takes place 9 years before Phantom Pain.
Okay. All right.
And then 1995 is Metal Gear.
Right.
And then 1999 is Metal Gear Solid 2, and this is in game.
Yeah.
In game, not when they've released.
Yeah. No. This is like I said, in order of events.
Yeah. 2005 is Metal Gear Solid.
That doesn't make sense. Metal Gear Solid 2 has to be after 1.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 2 is 2007 to 2009 because there's 2 parts.
Oh, okay.
So it's Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, that's right. Metal Gear Solid 2 is 2 parts. I totally forgot about that.
Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots is 2014.
Yes.
And then non-canonly, but it's added to this list, 2016 to 2018 is Rising Revengeance.
Rising Revengeance.
But because it wasn't done by Hideo Kojima, it's not counted as actual.
Yeah.
But it technically takes place with a character that Hideo Kojima created and continues the lore of Metal Gear.
Yes.
It just
it's
done by Platinum.
Yeah, it's got like the little asterisk beside it. It's just like, if you want to consider it, then it fits here.
Because I even looked it up. There's even more games that are like side games to Metal Gear. Tons. Like there's a card game. There's a I can't remember all the other ones, but there's a bunch of games that are not on this list as part of the timeline that are not considered actual canon.
I'm surprised that they haven't yet made one that's like Metal Gear Solid Mario Kart Racing kind of thing.
Yeah, the fact that he was in Smash Bros. I feel like is the stretch already.
Okay, I mean,
but anytime now, if you ever want to know, when you're playing Snake in Smash Bros, if he has the tiger stripes, you're playing Big Boss.
Oh shit!
But if he has the black suit, it's Solid Snake.
Fuck, Solid Snake is way more badass than Big Boss anyways.
I don't know, man. Big Boss pulls off a lot of shit.
Yeah, but technically, like, Liquid Snake is the perfect clone of Big Boss, where they take all of Big Boss's best traits and they put them into Liquid.
See, I don't know that, I never actually played the first 3 Metal Gears. I haven't played any of the Metal Gears, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
At all. That's why I'm watching it, because I'm like, it's too much of an undertaking for me to actually play it. And even though I bought a long time ago, I think, the Metal Gear Collection or whatever.
You just haven't touched it.
I just haven't touched it.
Yeah, no,
unfortunately. There's a lot of games like that I've wanted to play. Devil May Cry is another one where I want to play it, but it feels like it's such an undertaking. I really still want to buy Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
Because it's polished, it's new, it looks good, and I've already watched a Let's Play of it, so I'm waiting for my memory to die of it down a little bit, and then I might buy it when it's on sale.
That's not DMC, right?
No,
that's
no.
the one.
It's the one that's an actual sequel.
Okay, that one I heard is quite good.
It is. It looks really good, and it from the people who were playing it, Wooly and Pat, they were saying it's very good.
Okay.
So.
I mean, yeah, DMC is really good. I just, for anybody who does want to play it and doesn't know what to expect, it's not your typical hack. Like, it looks like a typical hack and slash.
It's a fighting game.
But it is not.
It's a fighting game, but a third-person hack and slash fighting game.
Yeah.
Where it has to deal with combos and pressing buttons to do, like, certain moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It totally breaks my mind. I'm used to God of War, square, triangle.
Yeah.
Hold triangle. Yeah. Switch weapons to a different thing. You know what I mean? This is, like, way beyond that.
Yeah, like, I think you're right. Like, treating it like a fighting game is probably more accurate than like a hack and slash.
They never said that in their Let's Plays, but the vibe that I got is very much like fighting game. Kind of like, the quarter circle low like punch or whatever to do Hadouken. That's the type of shit you're doing as Dante.
Yeah.
To do certain like moves.
Which
like,
is fucking
one
cool.
move. Yeah, I know. I can appreciate it. I'm just like with Metal Gear, it's so big and there's so much. It's easier for me to watch a 4-hour movie that someone did very nicely that cuts out most of the gameplay that would extend the game by another 5 to 10 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the only downside is I'm not seeing a lot of the gameplay, but I'm getting all of the cutscenes. This guy actually did a really good job, by the way. I want to shout out. I don't know.
Do you remember his name?
Oh, no. I'll try.
I'm gonna shout you out, bro. Once I remember your name.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick. But as I'm going to explain this, I'll just try to talk and look it up at the same time. But this guy did such a good job. You know how normally in MGS you do like the phone calls and it's like just that blank screen with the pictures?
Yeah.
What he does is he cuts out the picture.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then does like part of the game while Snake is still on the phone.
Oh, so you save time almost.
Yeah.
Yo, fuck,
so
that's
like
dope.
Snake is like kind of sneaking through somewhere or doing like something mundane,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also talking on the phone with his correspondents, being like, "This is what you need to do next.
That's
meet me at this location."
That's an extra little bit of care, man.
I know that's what I was saying. That I like these movies things when people actually like take the effort. It's called KefkaProduction.
Kefka Productions.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one that for the MGS3 at the very least.
Okay.
That's the one that I watch, and I gotta say, good job, dude. Again, another shout out
There we go.
to someone, and that was done like how long ago was that made? I feel like it was made a long time ago, 6 years ago. 2 million views, so it gets a lot of play.
Damn.
But like I said,
well, yeah, Metal Gear is like. I mean, if you want to get into it for the gameplay, then it's not a huge undertaking.
I tried playing the first one, and I just didn't have the patience for it.
Really?
For the slow, like tactical, like sneaking around.
I'm more impatient than you, and I was.
Oh, really?
I was fine with it.
I don't know. Maybe just a few times that I played it, I just didn't get very far, and it was just like too slow. I just wanted things to happen.
2 is a little bit more action packed. 2.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that 2 is like the apex of like gameplay story for the whole thing.
I would agree. Well, again, like I don't think the Metal Gear Solid story is amazing, but
I find it kind of interesting.
It's interesting.
It's Hideo Kojima convoluted.
Yeah,
it
is.
But it's got enough intrigue layered into it. That's pretty good. Also, the sorry, as one thing, the theme song for Snake Eater is like you listen to it, and you probably don't know this because you don't watch a lot of James Bond, but it sounds like every single James Bond theme song put together in one. I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
But it literally, you listen to it, it sounds great. It's great. But you listen to it and you can hear like tings of like different James Bond movie intros.
I've never even really watched James Bond.
Okay.
I've only seen like, I want to say maybe only one James Bond movie now that I really think about
Which
it.
Which one was that? GoldenEye?
No, probably the worst. Well, maybe not the worst of them all, but like the worst Daniel Craig one. The second one.
Okay.
Yeah, where he's trying to stop the guy from taking control of like 60% of the oil or water or something.
Water,
like that.
yeah.
It was water? Okay.
Yeah, in a specific region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even.
It's not. It's a decent movie, but it's not the best. It's definitely the lowest on the scale for the Daniel Craig movies.
Okay, yeah.
Spectre is pretty fun. I've been wanting to watch that recently because there's this one scene in it. Because the whole thing was that they were trying to make Daniel Craig like a legit person and not like a caricature of James Bond, where James Bond did a bunch of goofy stuff in the 70s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In Spectre, they're like, nah, fuck that. We're going to have fun with this. There's one part where he's leaving a facility and he shoots a guy in a helicopter with an Uzi without even having to sight in. He just like looks over his shoulder and like leans and clicks and like shoots the guy in the helicopter and just nails him, takes the helicopter out. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, James
Bond. Go full
Bond.
overboard with it.
Yeah, they just don't give a fuck anymore. I was like, yeah. And it's still a good movie.
Which one is Spectre?
It's the latest Daniel Craig movie.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
The one with
Javier Bardem?
No, that's the one before. That's Skyfall.
Oh, how many was there with I thought there was only 3. So there's 4.
Casino Royale.
Yeah.
I swear we saw Casino Royale together.
I have not seen Casino Royale.
Casino Royale is pretty good because it's kind of a throwback, but it's doing it new. Okay. It keeps him like grounded. Okay. Quantum of Solace is good if you like those movies, but isn't amazing by itself.
And that's how I viewed it. I viewed it by itself, and
it's okay.
Really like it. Yeah.
It's definitely the lowest grade of those 4. Skyfall is like we want to make James Bond a human. Yeah. Like we want to give him backstory. We want to make him like more humane.
Have him fight evil James Bond.
Yeah, have to fight evil James Bond, which is not the first time he's had to do that in the James Bond series.
Oh, is that like a common trope?
Yeah, like in GoldenEye, Sean Bean, he's 006.
Oh, really?
So he's this same organization, basically same training, all the same shit. And then 4, Spectre is, what's his name? Christoph Waltz.
Right. Okay.
He's like the leader of Spectre.
Christoph Waltz. That's the guy that was in Django Unchained, right? Yeah. Okay.
And in Inglourious Bastards.
Right.
As the Jew hunter.
I will say I didn't really like Inglourious Bastards.
I didn't. It was okay.
It was okay,
but it's not like as hype as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah.
Django Unchained was much better.
Django Unchained is so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got a lot of like ups, downs, and like good performances from a lot of people and stuff like that.
I've told you this before, but like when I saw Django Unchained with one of my friends, he was just like, he was thinking in his mind that like it's so rude that they were saying the N-word all the time. And like,
yeah, you told me this before.
Yeah, and he's like, oh man, all those black people in the movie must have been so pissed when they were filming. I'm like, dude, they probably got paid good money. I don't think they cared. Okay, they're actors. They'll survive.
Yeah,
they're fine with it.
Should tell him to watch. Fuck, I don't know why I'm blanking
7
on this.
Years a Slave or whatever.
No. It's a Mel. What's the name? Mel Brooks movie.
Mm-hmm.
Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is a Western movie done by Mel Brooks. But the first 10 minutes of it is hardcore, like black slaves making the railroad, and they say the N-word. Fucking, like, they do like the entirety of Django Unchained, or like maybe half of it in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Jesus Christ, really?
Like, and then never again for the rest of the movie. And then the rest of the movie is a comedy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because it's Mel Brooks.
Oh my God.
Spaceballs and all that stuff. So like the first 10 minutes of it, it's kind of comedic, but it's kind of like on the nose comedic. Okay. And they say the N-word a fuck ton.
Fuck.
And then after that, it's almost like it's still a little bit in there because it's, Western and there's still racism, but it's much more focused on like the comedic aspects of the movie.
Okay.
So,
do you think, I know Django Unchained wasn't that long ago, but do you think it could be released in modern times?
Oh, for sure.
You think
I don't
so?
see why not. Yeah. It's got a black protagonist, which is in line, and they defeat all the white men. The only thing they could say that would not be able to be made it for this time, which I don't believe, is the first thing I don't believe that would be a good argument is that they do say the N-word a lot.
Yeah, like that's kind of why I'm wondering, because like like we've ramped up with you're not allowed to say that word big time.
Yeah, but if it's a period piece, I feel like you get away with it a little more. I feel like that wouldn't be as much of an issue. I feel like the issue that people would make up with the movie nowadays is the fact that Samuel L. Jackson is a turncoat.
Oh, yeah.
He's a sellout. Yeah. That's what people would be like, black people wouldn't shell out black people. That's racist. You're making black people to bad guy? Why would the black guy shell out the black guy? That's the kind of shit that I expect them to be like, you can't do that kind of stuff. And to that I say, fuck you. It's a movie.
Yep.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Fuck.
But I think that Django Unchained could totally be made in this time.
Okay.
It's still got like all the hallmarks of like what SJWs would like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a revenge plot where it empowers black people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they get degraded, but again, it's a period piece. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even there's that one part where fuck, who's the main? I forgot the main actor. I forgot his name.
Jamie Foxx.
Thank you. Like, there's even that one scene where like because he's riding the horse with the white people. Yeah. And like one of the black guys is about to be like chased by a bunch of rabid dogs. Yeah. And he's just like, please, can you help me? You're black like me, whatever, blah, blah. And Jamie Foxx is just like, let him get eaten by the dog. Something like that.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's a Tarantino movie. Yeah. You're expecting gore. They shoot a fucking horse in the first, 20 minutes of the movie.
Do they? I don't remember that.
Just straight up. They kill one dude and then they kill his horse.
I don't remember that part. But
that's one of the things that they were talking about, that they just execute a horse for no reason in the movie. Okay. Not for real, obviously. It's just
I know. Well, it's probably to indicate that the people are assholes.
Exactly, yeah. It's just to show the extremity of how much they are pieces of shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but yeah, because I haven't been playing much video games, that's been basically my week, is laying down, being like, oh, I feel like I'm dying, and watching stuff, eating light, taking care of myself, trying to eat healthier.
Yeah, well, I'll look out for your obituary.
Please stop, because I don't want to die. I would appreciate that.
No problem.
But how was your week, man? I know that you were streaming a little bit. I didn't watch any of it, so sorry.
That's fine. I'd prefer if anybody I knew didn't watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, I helped you do your boss meta.
Yeah.
Well, he's a little. You're pre-boss meta. Now you're probably on another level, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I'm, more or less the same. Work is fucking crazy again, which is depressing, but it is what it is.
Did you end up getting that second person or third person or whatever?
We still haven't hired anyone.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck.
That's
brutal. Yeah. So doing more work and and so because I'm expected to do more, and they've been very clear with me before, saying you only have 8 hours to do what you have now. Like, if you stay extra, then we're not going to count it at all. Something like that.
But unless you get paid salary.
Yeah. Well, I get paid salary, but before, I didn't even know it, but I was keeping track of my hours.
Yeah.
But I was just, apparently my hours are being banked or something like that.
For what?
Like if I work extra hours,
salary. So
okay, so if I work, let's say 10 hours, I only get paid for 8. But you know, if I need to take 2 hours off on another day, then like the hours are banked, right?
So like
I
when
can
you
use
got
them.
sick that little while, you basically had worked so much extra that you basically could theoretically have worked that entire time, but you just did it 3 months before.
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
I can kind of understand that. It's stupid, but I understand.
So basically, I could have like, you know, I could have like days off and still get paid for them because I worked extra.
Okay.
Whatever. They've been very clear to me saying they're not doing that anymore. That they're only gonna pay me for the 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Unless I specifically get an approval from a supervisor.
Yeah.
Any extra hours I worked is on me.
Okay.
So I've been like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah, and so like some of the work, not in terms of what I send out to my technicians, but some of the extra work for like office people to make their jobs easier.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to do.
Oh, okay.
And so they've been coming at me with that. They're just like, hey, you haven't been getting this done. You haven't been getting this done. You haven't been getting this done. And I'm just like, I only have 8 hours. Yeah. You're more than welcome to give me more.
Or hire somebody.
Or hire somebody else.
You get another 8 hours.
Yeah. You know, my supervisor has helped me make things more efficient. Mm-hmm. That if they hired someone, I could realistically get all my work done in 8 hours. It's not going to be too much if they hired somebody.
Okay.
But the fact that I'm doing, you know, work for at least 1.5 times people.
And I feel like that's a lowballing. I feel like you used to have like 3 or 4 other people working with you. Like when you first started, I feel like you told me that there was at least 3 other people that worked in the office with you.
Yeah, it was 3 other
and then they
people.
Slowly died off, and then they hired one person to help you, and then completely took her away.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like there's basically just you, and then someone kind of doing something else.
Well, they hired someone to help me out, but they've more or less, because somebody quit, she's been taken away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I totally get, because that's like, as soon as I knew that person was leaving, like I could see the priorities of like, I knew who was going to do what. Yeah. Yeah.
That person, the new person that was supposed to help you is going to go do that person's job.
Pretty much.
That's a void that needs to be filled.
Yeah. Okay. But, you know, to her credit, she's been doing a really good job of it. Like a really fucking good job.
At least you're not working with an idiot.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say it out loud.
That's fine.
I would argue she's at least on par or better than the person who used to do it.
That's nice. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that, because like there was this problem for a long time where like we have our department and nobody could, like, when somebody messes up in the department, nobody could tell whose fault it was. So
even though there was only 3 of you.
Yeah. So
it's weird.
Basically, it would often come down to whoever. Like so my coworker would miss something and I'd get blamed for it.
Oh, okay. But would it be the same thing if you missed something, someone else would get blamed?
She could be, but I was pretty good at I'm pretty good at what I'm doing, and I didn't miss nearly as much. That
sucks. So you would get blamed for it, even though you have a consistency of knowing what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, and I'm not particularly blaming her. We have a really again, like I'm shit on my job here. We used to have a really poor system, like a really poor software for keeping track of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's so easy to miss like so many things. Like the program was just not. The programmer who built it in the company, you know, he basically like went back to school, so he put this on the back burner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
also, I find when people build, like when people are hired and it's just one dude building something, they build it from their mind perspective.
That's also a thing. Like he built it from his perspective. He built it, and also with the perspective of what the head of the company wanted out of it. And then like slowly throughout time, I kept asking him to make changes to it that would make our jobs easier, save us hours, but it would take weeks upon weeks to get those changes done, even though they were very minuscule. But so that programmer and the owner of the company just realized finally that like the person who created that program just, you know, doesn't care that much.
Oh, okay.
And so they hired a different programmer. And so we've been using the new program for like a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. Or a little bit less than a year, maybe 8 months.
But
it's so much better. If I need something changed, she does it pretty quickly for the most part. And so because of these like slow changes and other things that my supervisor has introduced, things have gotten so much better in these last, I want to say, like 8 months. Things have gotten significantly better.
Yeah, it sounds like that, but it's still obviously annoyances.
Yeah, there's still annoyances. But anyways, back to my point where I was saying that, like, I used to get blamed for my coworker missing stuff, and again, I'm not, like I said, I'm not blaming her. It's everyone else who didn't know whose fault it was.
Okay.
Or I guess she could have done better. I mean, she was still pretty good herself. But this new person doesn't miss nearly as much. So when the supervisor, well, like when something is an issue, like it's just, or how should I say this? I'm getting blamed for a lot less. I'll just say that.
That's good.
Yeah. Which is nice. And there's still some things that I'm trying to convey to my supervisor. Like, I'm trying to show him there's still a bunch of, like, there's a bunch of jobs that we haven't been able to do yet. And I keep trying to explain to him how it's not my responsibility.
Okay.
Because these are, like, these are jobs where we're waiting on permits or something. And it's somebody else's job to apply for those permits.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if they've done that yet. I hope they have.
Because again, it's somebody else's job.
It's somebody else's job.
What you're doing in
I need to. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. But he, like, in my supervisor's eyes, it's just like, this is work that needs to be dealt with, and you guys have to just deal with it. Just figure it out.
But that's how things get done poorly or shittily, or something with the text gets fucked up. You send them the wrong address or something.
Yeah, like anything could go wrong. But I mean, I also can't fully blame him on not being able to look in that much detail, because he has to do these, like, 4-hour-long meetings. Like, he doesn't have that much, or even he sometimes goes out on the field and helps the technicians.
Oh, okay.
So he himself doesn't have time to get into the nitty-gritty of this.
He just sees a problem and it's like, it needs to be solved.
I need you guys to just take care of it. Yeah.
He's delegating. He's being a supervisor.
Yeah. So I'm not even blaming him.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, to be honest, I should probably just take this on my own.
I don't know, Ken, because that ends up being a problem in itself.
Yeah, I mean,
and then that'll take away from your 8 hours of doing something else, and then they'll be like, "Why aren't we doing as much jobs?"
Pretty much, I've done it a little bit where I'm just like, the easiest way I find to sometimes deal with these problems is just restart the whole process with the jobs. Where instead of asking for my coworker to get a permit, I will send a technician out to the job. We'll let the technician ask for the permit, because they pay attention to that a lot more.
Because it stops right there of anything being done. And it's like, well, why isn't the technician doing something? It's like, well, the technician's asking for something. What does the technician need?
Pretty much.
You, it's just like, blah, 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 blah.
The Ken is just asking for shit again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I send, like, fucking, like, 1 million emails a day, whatever.
I'm like the technician at my job, where, like, when the job gets to me and I'm like, guys, this is fucked. And then they're like, we didn't realize it was fucked until it got to you. I'm like, yeah, because I'm the person doing it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like there's a different perspective, and then no one cares until it's like...
Until you complain?
Well, not until I complain necessarily, sometimes. But it's like that same thing where it's like when the physical labor is getting done and the job is supposed to be getting done, it's not caught when it's being put together. It's not caught when the client's putting in the artwork. It's not caught anytime there. It's just like, do. And then it gets to me and it's like, we can't do this.
Yeah, you can't. That's where the roadblock is. You can't move any further.
And that's when things get done.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's the same sort of thing. Yeah. So, but then it's like a double-edged sword, because, like, when I do that, then we have to pay somebody to go out there again to get the basic
But it's making a point, right?
Yeah.
You got to make a point.
Yeah. So I've done it a few times. I've been called out on it a few times, but also I'd also say a lot of the times it's gotten the job done.
Yeah.
So it's just sometimes it's just the risk I have to take. If they catch me doing that, then I'll get in trouble for, like, wasting company money or something like that. But
whatever.
It gets the job done.
What are they going to do? Fire you?
Yeah, that'll happen.
At this point?
I mean, they could. Like, they could replace me. I'm not saying it would be easy, but they could. Yeah. And, in about, like I said, our system's gotten so much better that, like, in 2 or 3 months, they could have somebody do my job.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I look at myself, but I feel like me and you have the same thing, where it's like we take so much of the job on our shoulders that it's like, to replace us in our separate jobs in our particular positions, it'd be like, you're just going to kick out one leg of the table.
Pretty much.
And then have fun eating on a 3-leg table. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, have fun eating on the table's going to wobble.
Yeah.
But, like, I try never to, I try never to put myself on a pedestal. Like, as much I know I contribute to what we do on an important level, but like I also know that what I know could be trained to somebody else. Like,
I suppose
taught to somebody else.
See, for me, it's like it's not that I'm up my own ass about it. I've only been up my own ass about it kind of in the last little while because it's a defense mechanism.
Yes.
Because I'm sick and tired of the being treated like garbage, because labor in my industry of screen printing are treated like utter trash.
Oh,
like the dregs, like a dishwasher in a kitchen.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, fuck. It seems like in almost every industry, the labor people are treated the worst, and I don't fucking get it. Like, you guys are doing all the work.
It's very odd. I know, but now that I've gotten to this point, I'm like, it's kind of like tenure. It's like, do something about it. Fuck you. I've got the power now. You know what I mean? Like, you did this to yourselves when you gave me this much power. So, like, you shouldn't have done this. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have leaned so hard on me. You should have gotten someone else. You know what I mean? Capable and, like, competent.
There's one company that I know of that's doing it in a different way, and I'm hoping that, like, more companies are going to move forward to this, because I think it's so much better, where instead of hiring laborers for the company, what they do is they just program their own, like, app, their own software on the phone, and they just have jobs that need to be done, and then if you're somebody who has the skill set to do that job, then you just fucking click the button.
Dude, I would love that, because I want to go back to school, and I would love to have something like that. Like, I'm kind of trying to work something out like that with my job, where I'll work like 2-3 days a week or something. But if it was like that, where it's like I can go to school and I can just pop in, do a job, and then get a commission off of it. Yeah. Oh, dude. Like, fucking weight off my shoulders. It would be so much easier to go to school.
Like, imagine if you had like just like 10 companies with all apps that do the same thing. Yeah. And you see the job postings, you're like, all right, I'll take care of that one. Press the button. I'll be at your shop on Wednesday.
See, I have to go and call my previous bosses and be like, hey, do you want me to come in and do some work? Yeah. Generally, like, especially with this place and the last place, they'd probably say yes, because I was still getting calls like this year or last year from the last job about like coming in to do work. But I'm like, I'm way too busy. Yeah, you just with like doing all the stuff that I do now that I just don't want to. Yeah. But I probably could do it. But it wouldn't be like as accessible as what you're talking about, where it's like ride share.
Yeah, I mean, that's big. Job. Somebody should just do that for contract work. I mean, I think, like, the labor industry desperately needs it, because laborers are treated just so poorly. Yeah. So,
but then the thing with that is, like, again, with the labor industry, the other side of it is from the boss's perspective, which is kind of why I get treated like garbage sometimes, and why laborers get treated like garbage, is laborers are trash. Yeah. Like, there are so many people that come through different shops that I've worked at that are utter garbage and are, like, bad human beings, bad at their job, or just like lie about their capabilities. Like the job that I got it. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, but I got this job by applying for it online, not checking my email, and then going back 2 weeks later after they're saying like come in for an interview. Okay. They had hired somebody already, and I went in basically being like, "This is my work that I've done before. Do you still need me?" No, we hired somebody. They call me back a week later being like, we fired the dude because he said he has like 5-10 years experience and he wasn't able to do shit. So they fired the dude that was working there that day and then hired me the next week.
Oh my God.
That's how I got this job. by not checking my email for like 2 weeks. Again, with the mail situation, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
So I don't know. I kind of agree. I think it would be interesting. I want to do a couple different apps. Like I want to talk to Daniel about that, because I know he does programming. But like one app I had an idea for was like, you know how the DS used to have the thing where it would be like a local chat room? Yeah. I want to do that, but an app for like on your phone. But it's a local chat room in your vicinity, like your physical vicinity. So like say you're on the bus and you open up the app. Yeah. And you're saying like, who else is on this bus? You don't have to talk to anybody. Yeah. Physically. Just talk to them on the phone, right?
So I guess it would be like within how many kilometers you are.
I don't know. It's all theoretical, right? Yeah. But I wonder if that would take off. Like a WhatsApp, but for a local chat room. And then once you leave that local chat room, there's no way to really... I'm sure there would be a demand for wanting to keep in touch with particular people that you meet on the road. But then it would also deter people from following you. Like if a girl starts talking to a creepy dude on the bus, then after that bus scenario... it's over, right?
It would be kind of cool if like a girl could, like if a creepy dude is like hitting on a girl and then like so I mean physically hitting on her. Yeah. And then she goes on that app, she's just like, hey, I'm the blonde hair, something, this creepy dude is hitting on me. Yeah. Somebody help.
I know. And it could have multiple situations like that. Like anywhere, like you're in an apartment building and you know, something happens, or or even my neighbor who's not very mobile, right? Like she could just theoretically go on this thing if she had it and be like, hey, I need something from the store for dinner, but I don't want to go out for just, a tomato.
Well, I wouldn't mind something to increase, I don't know what I would call. Well, like, how back in the past, like there was an actual thing as knowing your neighbor.
Oh yeah, and being sociable and stuff like that, and having like some sort of rapport with other human beings.
Yeah, and I mean you weren't super close with them, but you had a rapport.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's when you can communicate with somebody, but it's just like polite.
Yeah, I don't know, like casual. I don't know.
There was a word that I used to say for that, but it's basically like something that people that were much older than us had to deal with. So they had like a way of. My mom's really good at this. She can talk to anybody, regardless if they're creepy or not.
Okay.
And assess that they're creepy and stop talking to them. But like she's very good at that because she grew up. She's obviously she's like 50, so she's able to have conversations with any random person. Whereas people our age and younger, like you can't talk to anybody.
I'm fucking randomly. Awkward as hell when I talk to random people. Yeah, well, fair enough.
That's you, right? Yeah. But if someone were to come talk to you, right, you wouldn't be able to necessarily have the social skills to have that conversation.
No, absolutely. 100% not. Yeah.
You go back 30, 40 years and it's like that was a thing in society that people just
did it.
Exactly, as an innate gift. It's interesting, but in a new society, this app could be that. But that could be another app too, like the gig. It's like the gig laboring.
Yeah. Fuck, for the gig laboring, I'm just like, my company does a pretty good job of treating our techs well, but like, I've seen it where just like people out in the field that do the labor work just get shit on all the time, and like it really bothers me.
I feel like one of the things also is that when you're sitting behind a desk, quote unquote, right? Not theoretic, as an idea, the idea of sitting behind a desk as a supervisor, manager, or whatever, when you're not doing the physical labor, you just think that you snap your fingers and the labor is done. Yeah. But when you actually get on the ground and you have to do it, it's like when your guys have to go and dig a fucking hole. Yeah. Digging a fucking hole takes time. Yeah. And that's not even...
It's not just done.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, that's not even the job that you need to do. Like the job of your techs is to like lay cord or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, they have to. I mean, they would dig the hole, put in like the plastic tubing.
Yeah, but digging the hole isn't actually isn't the job.
No, it's not. What I mean, right? You're connecting the cord. Even that's not when the job is done when the hole is put back in.
Yeah. But like the actual like shoveling of dirt is not technically their job. It's just it's like a part of the job. Yeah. That they're not going to hire somebody else as a laborer who's like a construction specialist to dig holes so that the cable guy can do the cabling. They're just going to get the cable guy to dig the hole. To do it all, yeah. And then the supervisor, not your supervisor, just in general, is going to say, why the fuck did it take so long? This shouldn't take so long. It's like, dude, it takes time to fucking dig a hole. Yeah. And it's not my fucking job, technically. It's not technically what we're getting paid to do.
It's also like other things. It's not like even small things, like when they go on to a customer's house. Yeah. And mind you, like we get our clients through the bigger telecom company, right? Like we don't actually contact them ourselves or build our own database. We get it from the bigger company. So we go to a place and we need to dig. We leave a form with them that asks permission of it. We're not just going to do it. We have to. This person owns the house. We need their permission. You have to waiver it. Yeah. There's these other things that the technicians have to do, like take pictures of what the path is going to be and all, and that takes time. And then they're doing it on a cell phone or a tablet, and then they have to attach all the pictures to the email. If they have to do that for like every address, that takes a while. And organizing all those pictures, that takes a while. Yeah. Because you can't even just like take a bunch of pictures and put it on your phone. Yeah. You have to like create like a folder or something so you know what pictures belong to what.
Yeah, exactly.
And draw up the paper, and it's. Like it seems to me like a lot of work.
It's like that with, I feel like, any labor job where it's like you say labor job, but then there's at least 30 to maybe even 40% of it, maybe even 50 for some jobs, but at least for my job, I know there's 30 or 40% of it that has nothing to do with me actually printing shirts.
Yeah, there we go. You know I mean? So that's probably what it, like that
or
kind of
stuff is. Or even something that has
to
do with printing shirts. It's like I have to sit there and think about which jobs has to go first, doing in what order, what needs to be pulled out. It's like basic level things that aren't actually the printing of shirts.
Yeah.
So it's
and
like,
I guess
never gets accounted for.
Sometimes me and my coworkers are trying to think of ways to like maximize efficiency.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, maybe we should have the technicians do this. And I'm always the one just being like, I don't want to get the technicians to do administrative duties. Like that should be our job.
Yeah.
Like, we should make sure they have ample time to do their job properly.
Yeah, everybody specializes. Yeah. If you're in the office, specialize in office stuff. That means you're the thinkers.
Yeah.
And then they're the doers.
They're the doers. But like sometimes like the suggestions make sense. Like getting them to take the extra maybe 2 minutes to do something could save us maybe 15 minutes.
Exactly. And that adds up over the course of 20 jobs.
Weigh it out, but like I try my best to minimize what they have to do.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Try to be as nice as possible to them. But, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Other than that, Ring Fit Adventure has been going well this week.
Is that the only thing you've been streaming?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I still want to beat the game. Fucking yesterday, it was yesterday. My abs were burning so much,
Are
like
you doing
more
all the
than
core exercises.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it till the boss.
Oh.
Yeah, because like I just do the exercise that works the best. I don't even like mentally keep track of what exercises
You're playing like a game, and it just happens that you have to do certain things because the game's telling you have to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I don't pay attention to the story. Like I just skip through the dialogue.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. I mean, that's okay in some way because that stupid ring talking to you is kind of stupid.
It is.
But whatever.
And then I have to fight the last boss, and it's
the actual last boss?
No, well, last boss of that world.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it's Abdonis, which I might have mentioned. He's one of the He's one of the 4 bosses you repeatedly have to beat.
Okay, so not just a dragon with diamond heel calves.
Yeah, it's not just him. So as soon as I saw that it was Abdonis that I'm fighting, I'm like, oh, this was an ab-based world. I didn't even realize that for the whole time. Yeah, because the worlds are typically divided by exercise.
Yeah. Like
specialization, and then at the end, and then after a couple worlds, it's like all of them put together.
Okay.
Yeah. So I beat him so goddamn fast. Like,
nice.
It was him, and like he had 2 minions, and I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. He lost so quickly.
Okay.
So,
He's getting better and better.
I'm increasing my stat. I'm pretty sure I'm way over leveled because I was supposed to be. I think they said the recommend level is 109, and I'm like level 1. Am I 120 something?
Yeah, because the last time I saw you was like a week ago, or maybe even 2 weeks ago at this point, playing, and you were like 57, 60 or something like that, and you were over leveled.
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was going to go over 100. I thought it was going to cap at 100.
I've been looking online. People haven't found the cap yet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So
what was the highest that you saw online?
I didn't see what the highest was. I was just reading people's
that nobody found a cap.
Take on. Okay. Yeah, nobody has found a cap yet. So I'm quite a bit over leveled, which I'm fine with. And then I also recently got a new smoothie. It only works for yellow attacks.
So abs.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get the muscle one and the legs one later. But normally, so right now up until that point, I only had like stat boosts that could increase me by 0.5%.
Okay.
And now I just recently got the yellow one that gives me double damage.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I use double damage, and then I just use my yellow attacks, and then just fucking cleaned house. Yeah.
Damn, I can only imagine that if now that you've got that the next world for yellow is going to be a pain in the ass that you have that to lean on.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, maybe the fact that you're over leveled will cancel that out, but I just feel like if the game is giving you that, it's time to say like the game's about to fuck you super hard.
Could be, yeah. I also have these smoothies. I think I have 5 of them all together now that only activate when I die.
Oh, okay.
So if I die, I take
Phoenix
those
down.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I just drink that, fucking rise back up like the Phoenix, man.
Nice. Yeah. How many hearts do you have now? Because last time it was like 4.
Oh, now I don't know, like 11, 12, 13.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, it really shot up.
It's like 1 full row of hearts. Maybe that's 10. Okay. I haven't counted, but I guess that's 10.
Yeah.
And then 3 more at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your heal like now?
My heals, you mean like the heal attacks?
Yeah.
I only put 1 in.
Yeah.
I used to have 2, but I realized I was just never using 2.
Yeah, I figured that just having 1 primary one, because it's on a long cooldown anyways.
Yeah.
So then by the time that I can't imagine a time, unless you're getting your ass super hard, like kicked in, that you would ever need to heal twice in a row.
Yeah, no, it's
You know what I mean?
so it just doesn't seem to be happening. So I have one heal that heals, I think, 14.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
It's a full heal.
yeah,
The game is easy on the heals. Holy smokes!
yeah. It is. Holy fuck.
They really focus on just the damage being the difficult part of it.
Yeah, that pretty much is the case.
Okay.
They've introduced so like before there was what is it? There's like elemental damage, or not elemental but color, where like if you fight a yellow person, use yellow attacks, it does,
which I always thought it was an odd choice that they didn't do rock paper scissors.
Yeah, like, most games do rock paper scissors.
Rock beats rock, scissors beats scissors.
Yeah, but they want to simplify the game, right? This simplifies it. Yeah, they want to make the game as accessible as possible.
It's true. It's for non-gamers. So it's like, let's just remove the rock paper scissors, just make it easy.
Yeah. And so now they've introduced colored enemies of color.
We've already gone through this. Monsters of color, MOCs.
Yeah, monsters of color. That's right. My MOCs. But they've got like what's called the Drago. Drago's the main villain, the dragon, the cows. Now the enemies have auras around them that make them take less damage.
Oh, it's just like a...
So now they become basically like, if you use the correct element damage on them, it does neutral damage, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then using the wrong, it just does like half.
It's like half. Yeah.
Damn, okay.
So...
Which is what I would have expected originally anyways, that yellow just does the right amount of damage, and red just does... Like, that's how I thought of it originally, when you were like, oh, there's an elemental thing.
Yeah,
I just thought it would be like, you do less damage if you use the wrong color.
Again, that's how rock, paper, scissors stuff typically works, but not in this game.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've introduced that. I have a feeling that soon they're going to start introducing this kind of stuff for the bosses.
Yeah. So
that you can't really be, like, you can't wreck through them like I did this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so, what else? There was also recently a level that I did that was basically like a boss rush. I think the level had like 4 bosses in it.
Okay.
It was very short, and the way it starts is you start in the middle, and then you can go to any of the surrounding worlds.
Okay.
One of them leads to the exit. You don't know which one, or at least you're not supposed to know. But the game kind of easily tells you. Like, I just looked at all of them, and I was like, oh, this one gives the most XP. I'll just do that one first. Okay. It was the main boss.
Yeah.
And the next world opened up.
Okay.
But I still cleared out everything, because my goal is to clear out... Yeah, at the very least, clear out all the levels, but not... I mean, there's more I could do. Like, there's missions you can do where you have to complete a level a second time or something like that.
Oh, okay. But under certain parameters? Something
like that. Okay. Yeah, like one of them is complete the level in under 300 steps.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I did it once, and it was exhausting. I ended up at like 295 or something.
How do you do that?
Jump.
Oh.
So, because you have the double jump, right? So the idea is you sprint, get as much velocity as you can get, then double jump.
And then you queef fart, launch yourself up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then you just keep doing that over and over again until you beat the level in under 300 steps.
That's silly.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, I guess it's a challenge.
It's a challenge, yeah. Man, I didn't think I'd actually have that much fun with this game, but I really fucking love this game, man.
And you didn't have to buy Pokemon.
Yeah, I didn't have to buy Pokemon, which I don't know. I'm kind of happy with that decision. Like, I get that, like, everyone's being, like, all the people online who are hating the game are being nitpicky.
Yeah.
Like, they're super fucking nitpicky. But, like, it's not like they're wrong either. Like, like the developers of the Pokemon game promised us that, or they said they're removing Pokemon from the game so that they could improve the Pokemon models. But then they found out that the models are not improved. They're the same models from the previous game.
They're not exactly, but they are slightly better, but only slightly. For the amount that they're removing out of the game is not...
It doesn't justify it.
Exactly, I agree. Honestly, I wanted it too, and I'm going to hold off. I might get it in the new year if I'm not dead. But the biggest issue that I'm having right off the rip is the starters fucking suck.
Oh, do they?
At first, I was like, okay, Score Bunny kind of looks cool.
Score Bunny does look cool, right?
Yeah. Score Bunny just turns into a bunny that stands on 2 legs. That, like, it looks super plain and boring.
Oh, that's a shame.
The Sobble, the water Pokemon, it's like, It's a fucking joke, dude. It's a sad one at first. Mm-hmm. Then its next evolution is it's like an emo. Okay. And then it's basically like tall and lanky by the end of it. It's basically me.
It's you.
It's me,
you were
right?
a Pokemon,
it's
a water
so
Pokemon.
Fucking lame, right?
Yeah.
The grass monkey one,
mm-hmm.
right? First evolution is okay.
All right.
Okay. Scorbunny definitely is the winner for the first evolution.
Okay.
The second evolutions all suck.
Oh.
The second one for the grass monkey is he gets 2 sticks, and I don't even know how to explain it, but he looks like a fucking like a bag of chips, right? It looks so stupid. But I will say his final evolution, or its final evolution, is the coolest of all 3 of them.
Okay.
He gets this huge green mane, gets 2 big sticks, and like summons a drum.
Oh,
but he actually looks like a giant monkey. He's probably the coolest out of the 3. But even that. It's still not the coolest evolution it could be.
Do you know what types they are? Like at the end?
Not entirely. I'm assuming Scorbunny is firefighting.
Oh,
but
maybe.
I feel like that's like.
By the way,
Blaziken was like that.
I feel like because the way you made it sound was the monkey one was going to be grass fighting.
I don't know, because he fucking hits drums. Is that really fighting?
I guess sticks, but I don't know. I guess I get what you're saying, unless they've introduced like sound type or something like that.
I mean, they did do fairies.
Fairies. Well, they needed a new type to deal with fucking dragons, because dragons were super OP.
Yeah.
Because they're resistant to electricity, resistant to water, resistant to fire. Only took double damage from ice and dragon.
I want to see what they are, because I'm actually curious, because I didn't bother looking into it. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. It just says fire, water, and grass.
Maybe they just are the base elements by the end. All right. Well, I want to move on because it's already 1 hour and 30 minutes.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about in pop culture? Stadia came out. It's garbage.
Which is to be expected. Now, I just want to point out, a lot of people are like shitting on Google, being like, this is something nobody wanted, and you were stupid for who's it for?
That's a pretty good question.
No, well, it is, but you have to remember, Google doesn't care that much about maintaining a status quo. Like, Google is the kind of company that's just like, we're just gonna try to do something new.
Fair,
you know,
that's a fair point.
Yeah, and Google has had, and they will continue to have tons of projects that they've invested a lot in and then fail, and then they use that as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fact that Stadia has failed is not it's not a reason I want to laugh at Google for it. Like, I'm happy. I'm still satisfied that there's a big company out there trying to change things, trying to do something different.
There's no incentive to buy it.
No, there isn't, and it's garbage. Admittedly, it is. It's just not worth it.
But you like the idea that the concept is being put forward.
I like the idea that somebody's trying something new.
Yeah, it's like the idea of an electric car. It's like, it could be a trash piece of garbage that's super expensive, but the fact that someone's doing an electric car
is something.
Even though it's not the actual reality we live in, but the idea of it being a push of technology. I can understand that. Yeah, okay.
The other problem with the electric cars is, I think right now, because of the battery production, what is it? What's the word I'm trying to look for? The carbon footprint of an electric car is actually worse than regular cars.
Yeah, I think we've had this discussion before. I'm not entirely sure about that. I have heard that about solar panels being the case. The thing I've heard with the issue with solar panels and electricity with the batteries is that there's not enough infrastructure for actual battery technology to store the power that could be generated from solar power. Or
I remember you mentioning that.
So,
yeah.
That there's many issues with electricity that aren't just it's good.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's a step in the right direction, right?
Tesla introduced their new car.
Yeah. Everyone shits on it.
I thought it looked kind of cool, to be honest.
I think it looks cool
okay,
too.
so you thought it was cool too?
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to buy a truck.
Oh, thank God.
And I don't have enough money for that.
I was a little bit tepid about being pro that car.
No, man.
Because I thought it looked kind of cool.
It looks futuristic. It looks new. I mean, it looks like an old polygon game.
Honestly, it looks like what people at the 90s would think what futuristic looked like.
I'll accept that. I mean, hey, Teslas look cool, and they don't look like every single other car. I mean, they kind of do, but they have their own unique feel.
Did you see the dude throwing the rocks at the
metal ball bearings? Yeah, I watched Charlie watch the production.
That was funny, yeah.
And they would drop it, and it was good.
Yeah.
And then he threw it at the window, and everyone's like, well,
didn't go through.
Didn't go through.
Yeah.
But I like the sledgehammer on the door.
And nothing, man.
Yeah. I think he was kind of weak on that. Honestly, put me on stage and I'll give you a good swing. I probably still wouldn't put a dent in it, but that guy, like, he looks like he goes for a big swing, and then right about the halfway point, it looks like he just gives a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, like, instinctually, he was just like, I really don't want to hurt this car.
But Elon's like, go for it.
Yeah. I like the design. I do like the design of it, but I like the way that it's, the frame is one metal piece, as opposed to, like, regular cars are made from, like, a bunch of different metal put together.
Yeah. Well, generally it's a frame, and then they weld the shit onto the frame. Whereas it's a frame and the outside together.
All at once. And so that means that, like, once production can get going with this, despite that it is a more expensive metal, all you'd have to do is put it into an expensive machine that just folds it.
Yeah, or a 3D printer that
3D, yeah.
Can use the metal to make it.
To make it.
Yeah.
And eventually, like I said, even though it's a more expensive metal, it ends up being cheaper because of the process of making the car.
Yeah.
Which is Elon Musk's thing. Like, Elon Musk is pretty dedicated to making things affordable.
Yeah.
Even when Tesla first came out, I think, like, the cheapest model was around, like, 25 to 30 grand. Yeah. Which is fucking cheap for that kind of shit.
That's like a decent car normally.
Yeah. So, you know, just like with Google, I like that Elon Musk is doing. Even if I hated this car, I'd be happy that Elon Musk is trying something different.
Yeah. What I like about Elon is that when he goes and builds a project, it's not just let's build an electric car. Mm-hmm. It's like every component up to building the electric car has to be something new and not revolutionary, because that's a bit of a big word to be using for what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But like, it's not just we're just making a car that's electric. It's like, let's make the glass like better glass.
Yes.
Let's make the metal that we're using less dense.
He's not complacent with things. He's just like, let's just do different things.
Everything's upgraded. Yeah. It's an electric car, but then everything else is the next level of car.
Okay. Can I get onto my trigger? It's just loosely related to this. Yeah, there's a segue. All right. I fucking hate, and I know there's machines for this, but I fucking hate ice trays. I think they're so inefficient.
Like old school ice trays where you put water in and put in the freezer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate those things so much. I mean, I use it.
Yeah.
But like, somebody needs to reinvent the ice tray so that it's a lot better.
They kind of did when they do the built-in ice cube tray. Not
for like the fridges?
Yeah, for fridges.
Yeah, but I don't have one of those. Okay, somebody needs to just redo the ice tray so that it's totally different and can just, you don't even have to like just struggle to get the ice cubes out of the tray or anything. You know, you could just maybe squeeze something and then have the ice all come out.
You ever seen those ones that are more rubbery that aren't hard plastic that you can pop out the back?
I've seen those, and I was going to buy them, but then I started reading reviews about those, and apparently because the ice basically sticks to the rubber so much more that it's even more of a pain in the ass to get the ice out. Yeah.
See, I used to have one of those where it was like shaped like fruit, and the worst part of it was that it was more brittle because it was trying to make a particular shape. But I feel like I've seen people with ones where you can pop it out, and it's just a regular shape. The other suggestion I might give you is that I was given these as like a joke present for my birthday, but they were dick and balls.
Oh, I know that you freeze basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be the other option I have for
I've seen those kinds of things, but then that's just like extra shit that I need to clean out as well. And then if I don't clean those well, then it gets into the drink. I just want someone to reinvent the ice tray. You know, Elon Musk, I need that. I need him to be on this. Okay. I need the Tesla fucking ice tray here. Yeah. Okay. All right. I know he could do it just to make it better, okay?
I'm telling you, I think the best scenario is going to be the rubbery ones you can pop out the back. But
if it's rubbery, that's fine. Just don't make it a pain in the ass to pop everything out. All right? Fucking Elon Musk, I'm counting on you to solve this problem for me.
He's on it.
He's on it, okay? I was just like, I don't know. Every time I have to get ice out for anything, I fucking hate working with the ice tray. Because even like... So normally what I do is I try to crack it by flexing the thing. Maybe if nothing's really cracking, I'll just drop it a little bit. But then even like trying to scoop out the ice with my finger or something is a pain in the ass sometimes.
Well, I've kind of gotten this strategy. I don't know if anyone else does this, but you crack it, and then if you overflow the ice tray a little bit, you get that little bit of like ridge, and then it cracks. Okay. And you can like grab the ice cube, and it's not just the ice cube; it's got like a little bit of a I don't know how to put it, like a lip.
Yeah, because of the water that you're overflowing?
So
interesting.
Because normally the ice cube tray has the little divots, right? To separate the ice cubes. But if you do like one sheet, like a thin layer of water that goes over everything.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And then you can grab it by the edge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah. No, that totally sounds like it'll work. But I will do that. But, I'd still want the ice tray.
Yeah.
I still want it changed, okay?
I feel like in 10 years, everybody's going to have the fridge that shits out ice.
I mean, that's possible.
That's going to be the solution. But you're just going to have to wait. But and then by the time the ice cube tray, no one's going to want it.
I mean, like, there's ice. You can even buy small ice machines for, like, I want to say they're $100, but that's still a lot of money for fucking ice. Yeah.
For water that's frozen.
Yeah, and also I don't want something else to plug in. Okay, I just want my fucking ice. I want easy and accessible ice.
All right.
Okay. If I can get on that, Elon Musk, I'm counting on you.
He's gonna throw $100,000 at it.
Yeah, there we go.
Sell it online like he did with the hats and the not flamethrowers.
And the not flamethrowers. Fuck, I want those not flamethrowers.
They're gone.
Yeah, I know.
Limited.
Yeah.
He's smart.
Yeah.
He's like, we're just gonna make 10,000 of them or whatever he did. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, it's that fucking immediacy effect.
Yeah. FOMO.
All right, so you want to do your song? Oh wait, no. Yeah, get your song and then we'll introduce the game.
Sure. So, my song of the week is, I wrote this down. Where is it? Oh, I have the wrong tab open. Here we go. Is I'll Make Love to You by Boyz II Men.
Can you tell me how? Is it what?
I'll make love to you.
Oh my god!
Like
So you were actually thinking about this song all week?
Something, I don't know what I heard. I heard something. I think it was one of the girls in the office because every once in a while I go through there. Again,
she was listening to Boyz II Men.
It's on the radio, dude. There was Christmas music playing already.
Boyz II Men on the radio?
Yeah, every once in a while, dude. It's a fucking PG thing.
Okay, it's so old, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but there's oldie stations, there's soft rock stations.
Yeah, but Boyz II Men was never like Boyz II Men was popular, but not even for that long.
Yeah, but there's popular songs that get played still.
All right,
like one hit wonders. Let me put it that way. They still get played, even though they're completely out of the fucking cultural zeitgeist.
Yes. Okay. All right.
But with my pooping so much, I keep going to that bathroom because this is gonna be a little side note. Because of the gray poop, I kept going to the bathroom that didn't have the blue stuff that cleans the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see the color of my poop.
Yeah.
So I had to keep going to the office.
Yeah.
And I kept passing through. So I kept hearing fucking Christmas music. You don't know how many times I was trying to block out the Mariah Carey that I was hearing. I'd hear like 2 little bits and then I'd start like going back to the shop and I'd be like singing it in my head. I'm like, no, stop singing Mariah Carey.
Out of everything you've told me in this podcast, or in this episode, the fact that you have to listen to Mariah Carey, even the little bits, is probably the biggest piece of shit ever.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. We get to avoid all public places during Christmas to avoid that song. Did I ever tell you about a brief aside, did I ever tell you about when I was working at a Future Shop for like one Christmas?
I know
couple
you
years
did,
ago?
but yeah.
So that one Christmas, dude, they played Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, like at least, very minimum, in a 6-hour shift 4 times in a day.
Oh my god!
I'm saying that's a minimum. I'm saying that they could go more than that.
Jesus
I
Christ.
swear to God, it's like every hour that fucking Mariah Carey song comes on.
You know what? I mean, I worked at Toys R Us for a while. I feel like they play that a lot there,
but
it's like radio. So out of like my I stopped even paying attention. Yeah.
Thank God for that. Yeah. But go for it.
So now we're gonna play Which One Is
Fake News,
where Shane and the audience has to guess which one of the 4 articles I bring in is
fake news.
All right. Oh, and by the way, I might be upgrading our recording device by the end of the week.
Oh, okay, cool.
I found somebody else who's willing to sell it for $350.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm just waiting to see because Amazon is doing their Black Friday sale soon.
African American
Friday. Yeah. And I want to see, like, if Amazon is gonna sell it for $400, I might buy it off Amazon instead because then I'll have the 1-year warranty.
Okay.
But I'm not too concerned about that. Anyways, okay, ready for the 4 articles?
Let's go.
All right. School shooter with AK-47 got beaten up by PE teacher.
Okay.
Actually. This, I'm going to ask you something for this. Do you remember a couple years ago when they were first introducing the new Star Wars movies?
Yeah, okay.
And they did something that pissed off a lot of the Star Wars fans. It had to do with the lore.
Oh, yeah, they got rid of the extended universe.
Okay.
Almost entirely.
Yes.
Except for Clone Wars like the animated, the 3D
the
animated.
3D animated one.
Yeah. I think that was the only thing that was like safe.
Yeah, and
like
that was basically like a Disney property.
And the only thing that even got a slight pass was the Old Republic game, but they basically just ignore it.
Yeah,
they just ignore it, but they let them run out their contract.
Okay, well, here's an article title for you. Making a Star Wars film is difficult due to the lack of comics and novels, says Lucasfilm president.
What? That's stupid, dude.
Okay.
You know that. Oh, God damn, that sounds real too. God damn it.
Okay. All right. I just thought you'd love that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude.
Okay.
Sorry. I want to say one thing that I just remembered. The one other thing that came back from the extended universe was the only real survivor from the extended universe.
Palpatine.
Thrawn.
Really?
Yeah, they brought Thrawn back. They got Timothy Zahn, the guy who wrote the original Thrawn's trilogy.
Yeah.
They got him to write new books for Thrawn.
Oh, they did?
That are canon in this universe.
Are they basically the same stories?
I haven't read them.
Okay.
But I assume they're very much the same kind of story.
Massive $1.2 million spinning chandelier installed under Granville Bridge.
Our Granville Bridge?
Yes.
Yeah, damn. I wish I would have known that was actually real or not. Because I don't know. And I haven't walked the bridge in a while. Okay. I mean, Granville Island is there, so I could see them throwing a bunch of dumb money there.
I mean, it's 1.2 million. You know, we could help the homeless with it. We could, maybe give it to single mothers, or build a chandelier.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah, opulence.
Yeah. Child wondering why older brother only won to get funeral.
Oh, God. I'm glad that you're laughing at all of these because I was gonna be like, this is gonna be really easy because you're laughing at that first one pretty hard. But you laughed at all of them, so they're all fucking shitty articles. All right, let me read this shit. So, from the top.
Okay.
School shooter with AK-47 got beat up by PE teacher. I'm assuming that's not he got beat up by the PE teacher and then tried to shoot up the school. I'm assuming he tried to shoot up the school and then got beat up by the PE teacher. That's what I'm guessing. I mean,
I should stop giving you hints.
Oh, you know what? It said got beaten up. So you know what? It is past tense. So he got beaten up and then tried to shoot up school. Making a Star Wars film is difficult due to the lack of comics and novels, says Lucasfilm president. Nice job. Massive $1.2 million spinning chandelier installed under the Granville Bridge. And that's local for us in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. If it's real.
Child wondering why older brother only one to get funeral. I'm going to say that one is a terribly worded one and makes me think that that's the fake article.
So is that the one you're going to go for?
I don't know. I'm just going to think about this for a second because I'm usually quick to jump, and the last couple times it hasn't worked out so well for me.
All right.
I always like having the knowledge of one of them I know for sure is true or false.
It does sometimes happen, yeah.
But I don't know. School shooter one sounds legit as like an idea. Like he got bullied. It just happens to be this time he was bullied by a specific faculty member.
That was it?
Yeah.
And he just went crazy.
You know what I mean? Like it's possible. Because it doesn't even say they tried to... It says school shooter, but he could have went to the school to shoot the PE teacher. You know what I mean?
Could have just been him.
Exactly.
I've been bullied by teachers.
Yeah, it happens. I know I was in grade 3. That was like one of the worst things. Would come home crying because my teacher would like stand over me watching me do my work and shit like that. In grade 3, we're talking about like when we're 7 or 8.
What an asshole teacher.
Yeah, she was some fat dicks. I hated her.
I had a teacher that once asked us to color like a bear.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I think this was grade 4 or maybe even younger. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Whatever. The assignment was to color this bear. And so I colored it red, and then she like held up my paper and was just like, this is like not a way to color a bear. This is dumb. And so like a month later or something, she like asked us to color a snowman, and I was so confused. I'm like, should I just color this thing white? It was on a white piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like the outline of the snowman was there, so I'm just like, all right, I'll just take a white crayon and go over it. Fuck it. And she's just like, Ken, you didn't even do your assignment. And I was just like, what the hell do you want me to do?
Yeah. Especially in grade 4, it's just stupid. I had a teacher like that in grade 6, I think, but she would do it anonymously, where we would do book reports or book reports, not book reports. What is it? like essays,
Mm-hmm.
where it'd be like a booklet that you would make, and you would have to do drawings. You'd have to have a front page cover. Then you'd have to do an introduction. Then
Oh
you'd have
shit! I remember doing that in grade 6 too.
But she would like anonymously hold up people's work and be like, "This is fucking stupid." So this one time I did one on Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I colored like one of the foods that they made,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically like a tomato soup, like stew.
Okay.
So I colored it with a bunch of random colors, and she's like, "This looks like vomit," and I'm like, I didn't feel that bad because I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
She's critiquing everybody's, but like. That's like a less impactful version of what you were talking about, where I wasn't like butthurt about it. I don't know. The typing on this one makes me think. The last one makes me really think that's the fake news. I could see the city doing stupid shit with money. Granville Island, which is literally under the Granville Bridge, where I'm assuming the chandelier is.
Okay.
Because it's under the Granville Bridge, so it would be above Granville Island, right for Christmas. So I'm thinking that's pretty real.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid Lucasfilm president, after they fucking eliminate all of the stuff that was like, you could just take a fucking book and have a script done, basically.
Yeah.
And they would have like they've done what, 5 movies?
Yes.
Let's say the new one. Let's say the new one is included,
Mm-hmm.
right? They've done 5 movies. They could have 10 movies done by now. Almost.
Oh yeah.
Like 1 or 2 a year.
Good movies too.
And like incorporating the lore and doing a modern version of what's been told, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy. But no, fuck it. Let's get rid of it and now complain about it. I'm gonna go with my first instinct. I'm gonna say the child wondering why older brother only wanted to get funeral. I mean, it kind of makes sense in my head when I read it now, because it's like clearly this kid isn't dead, so he's wondering why the older brother.
Just like if it's a young kid, right?
Yeah. But the typo makes me think that it's garbage. But then again, you do get like Chinese articles sometimes, so
it's true. I do.
I'm gonna go with that one.
So is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay, you're right.
You got it. Yeah. You are fake news.
Okay. All right. So let's start from the top. Okay. School shooter. I did these in the wrong way. Okay. So this is in Serbia. Oh wait. Sorry. Hold on. I need to get myself internet. I forgot that I disconnected. My phone's Wi-Fi was getting fucky, so I had to make it forget all of my Wi-Fi networks.
That sucks.
But I'll just do this on data. So school shooter with AK-47 got beaten up by PE teacher. So this is from Allergy.com. That's ALUGY. A school shooting in the Serbian high school saw a PE teacher confront and disarm a person carrying an AK-47. So your first instinct was right.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was carrying AK-47, hand grenades, and explosives, allowing the students to escape. Witnesses said the shooter was in full combat gear, and he also had a bulletproof vest. The man walked into the classroom during a philosophy lesson and fired a couple shots into the ceiling, creating a hostage situation. Excuse me. Then something unexpected happened. Another man walks into the classroom. This time it was the gym teacher. I heard the kid screaming and I immediately rushed there. What happened next is something you would expect in Rambo movies. My students called me from the gym to come to the classroom. I responded in time. I managed to take his rifle. And even though 2 bullets were fired during the wrestling with the attacker.
Okay. Did anyone get shot?
Besides the teacher, minor fist injuries.
Okay.
So I guess punching the kid or something.
Whatever. He's got a gun. You can take a couple fucking fists to the face.
Yeah, I think if a kid has a gun, then anybody is okay to punch them.
Yeah, I feel like that's like it's not a escalation of violence. It's like a reasonable call to violence. Is punching them in the face and kicking them in the nuts and stuff like that. Besides
the teacher, minor fist injuries, and the school shooter, no one else was injured.
Nice.
Do you think you would do that? Punch a school shooter?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'd be
if I had to jump on him and I don't have to like rush at him and then like Superman punch him, but if I just go behind him and clock him in the back of the head, fuck yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm a giant pussy. I would just run away.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, if you have the upper hand on somebody and they have a gun, like it takes a while to turn around and shoot somebody, and as long as you keep pummeling them with fists, they ain't gonna be able to shoot you. You know what I mean? If you punch the face, you punch the gut, you kick him in the legs, you kick him in the nuts. Trust me, they're gonna have a hard time shooting someone.
That's what the dude looks like, although the viewers can't see.
Oh, He fucking wrapped up his hands. He beat the fucking kid so bad.
Yeah, it looks like there's wrapping on his hands. It looks like he beat the fucking kid.
It looks like he either got shot in the hands and got like a fucking cast, or he beat the fuck out of him. Like, it looks like he's when they go to like boxing matches and they wrap your fists and it's like all swollen up.
Yeah, that's basically what it
wraps.
is.
It looks like that.
Okay, so this is the Star Wars one now. Let's see.
I like to hear the fucking stupid reasoning for this.
Let's see. I'm just trying to get to.
Oh, so where's the article from?
This one's from comicbookmovie.com.
Okay.
All right. So, almost from the moment of its announcement, longtime Star Wars fans have been decrying this decision by Lucasfilm and Disney to discard the stories of the expanded universe. The books and the comics from the 80s and 90s that told stories from Star Wars universe set after the events of the Return of the Jedi. Fast forward to 2019, and most Star Wars fans would agree that they would rather see seen the expanded universe adapted for film instead of what we got. Yeah.
Which I would say is true for everything except for Rogue One. Like
I like Rogue One.
Rogue One's really good. Mm-hmm. Han Solo can just
eat a dick.
It's okay. Yeah. Whatever. It's passable, but not anything that I'm gonna like love for Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Force Awakens is pretty good, but it's mostly hype.
Okay.
It's mostly like fan service hype. All right. And Last Jedi was very disappointing. It has a couple cool scenes. That's the best I can say.
But they wanted to. Are there stories that, like, because you read a lot of the EU, but like, are there stories that follow female protagonists? Because they really wanted that.
Yeah. They could have done Mara Jade, dude.
Okay.
Mara Jade was like one of the Emperor's assassins, and literally when the Emperor quote unquote died, he set out like a psychic signal through the Force that made that all the people that were like tied to him in the Force, so like anybody that worked with him directly, basically was like had killed Luke Skywalker, like burned into their brain. Shit. So Mara Jade like goes around trying to hunt and kill Luke Skywalker, and then she ends up like falling in love with Luke Skywalker and having his kids, and then from there Luke and Leia's kids, they have twins, and then they have their son.
Luke and Leia, they have
sorry. Han and
Solo,
Leia.
yeah.
Han and Leia have kids. They have twins.
Yeah.
Jason and Jaina Solo.
That's right.
Then they have their younger son, Anakin Solo.
Yes.
He dies like a heroic death. Jason Solo ends up turning to the dark side and killing Mara Jade.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's way better.
It's basically what they did in Force Awakens. They just turned stuff around a little bit.
Okay.
With Kylo Ren.
Yes. Every one of these movies is a particular hard nut to crack. There's no source material. This is a quote from her, by the way. We don't have comic books. We don't have 800-page novels. We don't have anything other than the passionate storytellers who get together and talk about what the next iteration might be. We go through a really normal development process like everyone else does. You start by talking to filmmakers who you think exhibit the sensibility that you're looking for. Did you die a little bit inside after I read that?
It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. But that's a problem with like when Disney comes into the picture and is like, get rid of everything else, right? We're gonna start fresh because there's too much stuff. It's like that's such a shitty excuse. You have a foundation that was handed to you for free, basically, like on top of the $2.3 billion.
People were happy to let them have the EU.
Exactly. Everybody wanted to see that shit. Even the hokey stuff, you could have like got J.J. Abrams to make a more like not like hacky version of some of the EU stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Thrawn would have been great in a movie. Like the whole Thrawn trilogy could have been the new series. Totally easy. You know what I mean? He takes up the mantle of the Remnant Empire. He's leading it. It's not a white dude. It's a blue dude. You know what I mean? He gets some crazy like psychotic Jedi to be his like side piece and to be like his version of the Force, but the Force isn't the focus point for the bad guys. In fact, Thrawn's outsmarting people with the Force by using animals that have like a Force barrier around it.
Oh shit, really?
He's highly intelligent, you know what I mean? And it's all about Luke. I mean, that part would be hard to get over because Luke is not 30 years old when that shit happens. But I mean, even then, you could just stretch it out and say that he is 30 years older. Yeah. And just say it is. Like, who cares?
But fuck. They fucked up, man.
I don't know. I agree.
Kennedy went to add that the development process starts with careful consideration and a select number of filmmakers who can deliver on certain sensibilities, which they said that Lucasfilm is looking for. From there, it's about navigation navigating the reality that what you may have planned to do may not work.
I mean, that's pretty much any movie, but okay.
So that's pretty much it. So that's the Star Wars one. I thought that was...
It's silly.
Funny.
It's silly, and so... Like, you shot yourselves in the foot.
Yeah, big time. And then they're saying that there's no fucking source material. Like, what do you... This was your idea. Yeah. You're the ones who said no source material.
Yeah, you're the ones who said no, nothing but the movies and the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Oh, woe is me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Massive... So this is from the Daily Hive. Massive 1.2 million spinning chandelier installed under Granville Bridge. There's a picture of it.
Oh my god. I have to go see that at night. I hope it looks good. What a waste.
I don't know if I want it to look... I feel like if it looks good, it's a slap in the face to the city. Yeah. It's just like you could do so much more to help people with that 1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things for a city, I can kind of see the argument of 1.2 million isn't actually a lot of money.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
But it could help a lot of people. Like if they have those fucking ads around Christmas time, which I want to donate to or do like a soup kitchen this year because I've always been talking about it the last 3 years. But if $3.29 can get someone a meal, imagine how many 1.2 million can get $3.29.
Fuck, man, a shit ton.
You could feed every homeless person, which we have one of the worst homeless crises in all of North America. Maybe only second to like not San Diego. What's the one? Silicon Valley?
Oh,
San Francisco?
Was it San Fran?
San Francisco.
I want to say it was California, like, but I might be wrong.
Well, it's California as well.
Yeah.
Well, all of California. Sorry. Those cities are in California. But it's Los Angeles and San
LA.
Francisco.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, and San Fran. Yep.
Which I think San Francisco is the one that had the app where it tells you where there's feces.
There's poop, yeah.
That's when you know you have a fucking problem, right? But Vancouver's had a homeless crisis and like drug crisis for far longer than any of those places.
Yeah.
So for them to do this for like a nice, already opulent thing in Vancouver is kind of a fucking stupid.
It's a slap in the face.
It's like, how about hire more police?
Yeah, that would be nice.
You say there's only like 140 police officers? Hire more police. Train them better. Do anything else.
This money given to the police force would have been so much better.
And I don't even agree with the police force a lot of the time. You know what I mean? But 1.2 million could be spent way better on anything else.
It's such a shame. I also feel like having this kind of chandelier is kind of a hazard. I mean,
it could be, but I'm pretty sure that with most things, part of the 1.2 million was getting like building code stuff to make sure that it's safe.
I'm 100% certain that like the chandelier itself might only be like 200,000 or 300,000, and the rest of the money is putting it under the bridge and then doing it in a safe way. Still a waste of money. Okay, so a kinetic public art sculpture weighing in at about 7,500 pounds. Jesus fuck, measuring in 26 feet in height and 14 in width, now hovers high above Bench Avenue on the underside of north end of the Granville Street Bridge in downtown.
Oh, in downtown. Okay, so it's on the other. So it's not over Granville Island. It's on the other side, which is a very odd choice. You think that it would just go to Granville Island?
Well, I think they're going to be gentrifying the area.
Oh, okay. So they're trying to make it look nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with it still, but I can kind of see what they're doing, trying to do.
It's just like, how many other cities can you go to that has a chandelier that you can drive through?
But it's stupid to think that there's only one under one part of one end of the one bridge. We have at least 3 bridges in Vancouver, not including the Lions Gate, that are going to be chandelierless. You know what I mean? It's going to look weird. It's just like the suicide fucking bridge on Burrard. It's like, none of the other bridges have fucking suicide fences. Why just that one? Hey. What a waste of money and time.
Yeah, let's just make it slightly harder for people to commit suicide. Let's not deal with what's making them commit suicide. That's not important at all. Let's just put a barricade on this one bridge.
Yeah. Trust me, if someone wants to commit suicide, they're going to jump off the Granville Street Bridge right over Granville Island on a nice hard cement at the apex, and they're going to be for sure dead.
Fuck. What a...
Right, thank you, Christy Clark. Go fuck yourself.
This is sometimes why I think that we need more conservative governments.
I was saying this to my coworker when we were going to work. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of thinking of running for conservative, like the federal government or local or whatever, and I'm going to go to the conservatives and be like, listen, we're going to drop all the religious shit.
Yeah,
we're going to drop all the gay shit. We're just going to focus only on economics. We're going to talk about dropping taxes. We're going to talk about spending less money on garbage, and I guarantee you guys' votes are going to go up by 20%.
You want to ban abortions? You leave the fuck out of my party.
I don't give a fuck, dude. You go get it. We're not going to pay for it with MSP. We're going to like maybe subsidize a little bit, but we're not going to say you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fuck that. We're not getting involved in people's lives anymore. The only thing we want to deal with for conservatives is economics.
Yes.
Like let's make that our primary. Let's stop getting derailed by we don't like gay people. Blah, 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 or,
yeah, fuck that shit.
It's like it's not even the fact that you guys don't even like gay people. It's the fact that people question your liking of gay people. That's where the sidetracking gets happening. If you just focus on the economics, I'm sure you would do a lot better.
Yeah, because like conservatives are like the Conservative Party is like one good thing is that they're very realistic about economics, and because of that, they execute good policies that in general help. I would say most people.
Yeah, or a little bit more towards the like middle class.
Yes, whereas the liberal, and you do still need the liberals, but the liberals are more like idealistic. Like this is what should be like this is what should be the end result. What can we do to make this end result happen? Yeah. And so you need them to like push the envelope a little bit.
And then they get all the social clout.
Yes, they do. Yeah. I mean, crews have raised up the giant spinning chandelier. Oh, so it's spinning too, just to be clear.
I mean, it said it in the thing.
Oh, did it? Yeah, that's right. I didn't even pay attention to that. To its position, and are now in the final steps of installing and testing the components ahead of next week's public unveiling event. So there's going to be an event. Okay. When was this written? This was written. November 21st, so 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
At fixed times twice a day, the chandelier will descend, then release and spin rapidly before returning to its starting position.
That doesn't sound safe.
No, it doesn't. LED lamps will illuminate the sculpture's 600 polyurethane faux crystals during nighttime hours.
Okay, so it has spotlights on it.
Yes.
It's a fucking futuristic disco ball.
That's basically it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was able to read that without stuttering too much. Local artist Ronnie Graham is behind the design, which is inspired by his 2005 35 millimeter film installation Torqued Chandelier. I don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is. Yeah.
Okay. Vancouver City Council approved the public art piece installation in 2015.
Oh, okay. So that's why the new city council has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Fair enough. Wow, it took 4 years to put up garbage.
Yep.
All right.
Extensive public realm treatment under the bridge and between Vancouver's house's 3 buildings, turning the space into a pedestrian-oriented and event-friendly space. That sounds like they're gentrifying it.
Yeah.
Will activate the area, providing a new southern anchor for Granville Street on downtown Peninsula.
That's right. That part of the Granville Street Bridge is right by that building that I think is fucking gross.
So that building is probably like part of the same process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's fucking lame.
I mean, the rest of this is about the gentrification, which I don't care too about. Yeah,
I feel like we got the gist of it.
Okay, and then the last one, the fake one, which one? Here we go. Child wondering why older brother only want to get funeral. So
Where's it from?
This is from The Onion.
Okay.
Claiming that he should get one if his siblings did, local child Noah Weiss wondered Friday why his older brother was the only one to get a funeral. How come Brandon gets a funeral and I don't, said Weiss, explaining that it wasn't fair that his older brother got a cool casket that he could lay down in while he had to walk around in an uncomfortable, itchy suit and talk to people he didn't know. I mean, fuck, right. He's kind of got a point there. I'd rather be in a casket dead than walk around in an itchy suit.
I will tell you, with this feeling of pooping, I would rather not feel like pooping and not be dead.
And not be dead.
Yeah. So you can have the casket and I'll complain about talking to people. How about that?
There we go. I'll take the casket. Everyone's talking about how much they love him and no one is saying anything nice about me. And why are his pictures the only one put up around the church and not mine? He gets all the attention. At press time, Weiss was throwing a tantrum after finding out his brother didn't have to go to school anymore. That's the end of the article.
That's an Onion article.
Yeah.
Every bit of that was written to be like, that's the stupidest thing I've heard.
I think I did good with the news this week.
Yeah, it's good. I like the fact that you picked all like goofy ones so there was no one that stood out.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. So I think that's the end of the podcast. This is probably our longest episode.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. What are we at? Episode 23 or 24, something like that. I need you to fucking get a computer and start editing soon.
Yeah, well, I got money in the bank. You just got to help me pick out the parts.
And then buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that, I guess.
So start looking up parts for African American Friday.
Yeah.
And then see if there's anything on sale. That might be the best way to do it. Because I've got like at least $1,000 saved up. So if there's something that I could buy that's cheap, that's not like like, for example, I always hear that video cards are the most expensive thing.
Video cards and motherboard. Not motherboard, sorry, CPUs.
Yeah, so if you can look at those and if you find a really good deal on one that's decent, then I wouldn't mind like pulling some money out to buy that now. Okay. And then everything else would be much cheaper to buy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then that way I don't have to fucking spend 6 hours a week on this podcast.
I mean, I'd like to do more stuff. I want to do more editing stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I personally want to put the podcast on YouTube. But part of what I'm waiting for is artwork. I
mean, I can do that, but I feel like we need artwork if we're going to do that because we need something in place.
That's what I want, yeah. So that's why I'm not pushing it super hard. But if that was the case, I would be the one to go and do that myself. Okay. Just for my level of effort. So, yeah.
Okay. Close out the podcast while I check for emails.
All right. So, if anyone would like to send us an email and tell us to go fuck ourselves or whatever else, or if you have any questions, you can email us at overtlydisagreeable@gmail.com. That's overtlydisagreeable@gmail.com. If you found the podcast, you can spell overtly disagreeable, so I'm not going to spell it for you. Yep. Nothing?
No.
Damn shame. Oh, well. My wise words.
I forgot about that. And did you have a trigger, by the way?
Oh, I was going to say my trigger is going to be the same thing as my wise words.
All right.
Don't go to Google for medical advice.
Yeah, all right.
I think I've learned my lesson in that. And with my paranoid anxiety or whatever, I'm definitely going to be staying away from that. Unless I'm like throwing up blood. I think I'm just going to go to the doctor and I don't need to look that up. Okay. So that's going to be my words of wisdom. Maybe that's not wise for everybody else. Maybe you already knew that. But this one's for me, guys. This one's for me. The other ones are for you. This one's for me. But otherwise, that's the podcast. Y'all have a good night. Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves. See ya.